Oh my God. What's up? How old are you?
39.
Are you voting for Donald Trump?
I'm not voting. I haven't voted since Bush.
You should vote for Biden. Moving on to our next guest, because we are just looking for people who are going to vote for Trump. Let's go to get Rock and Roll 1559 up in here. Also, guys, if you want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal, or my bio, I get 100% of the proceeds over those platforms. They go directly to me, and you'll get a shout out. It's a great way to get a message across to me as well, because I read them all off on stream. What's up, Rock and Roll? How old are you?
I am 31.
Perfect. Are you voting for Diaper Don?
I'm not voting for Diaper Don. I'm voting for Donald J. Trump.
Okay. Okay, why?
Why am I voting for Donald J. Trump over Biden?
Yeah.
Or RFK, if you will. I am voting for...
Wait, what year were you born in?
1993.
93, 7, 24. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Makes me 31 years old because I was born in March. Okay, anyways. I'm voting for Trump because I believe that... Someone says I'm going to say gas prices. Oh my gosh. No, I believe that the inflation under Biden is awful. The economy was a million times better under Trump. And I think...
How did Biden cause inflation?
How did Biden cause inflation?
Yeah.
So the grocery prices have risen, and everything, you go to Walmart and everything is way too goddamn expensive anymore. And
yeah, but how did Biden cause that?
How did Biden cause that?
Yeah.
So... Cutting the pipeline, you're going to lose jobs that way. People are losing jobs, and then the gas prices are rising. So I guess that guy was right. I'm going to talk about gas prices. Gas prices are rising because
particularly about the Keystone XL pipeline. So that was a court order. So Biden was following a court order when he shut that down, and it also wasn't producing oil, so it couldn't impacted the supply curve of oil. Meaning when it was cut off, it couldn't have raised prices or caused inflation. It was also a Canadian-owned pipeline that produced oil that wouldn't have been refined into gas, and the 10% and the U.S. would only have gotten 10% of it. So Biden cutting off that pipeline because of the court order couldn't have caused inflation for those reasons.
So. Can I take a page out of your book and ask for source and stuff like that?
A source for what claim?
The Keystone Pipeline not causing inflation, whatever you just said.
Well, I mean, the predominant reason why it didn't cause inflation is because it wasn't in production yet. It wasn't making any oil, so it couldn't have impacted the supply curve. So when it was cut down, it couldn't have caused the prices to rise due to a decrease in supply. And I guess a source on that would just simply be like the Keystone XL's own website. Go to keystonexl.com. I mean, they talk about how when it was shut down, it wasn't producing oil yet.
So what? Now this is a genuine question. So the Keystone XL pipeline was not in effect when Trump was in office?
Well, it was never producing oil, no.
So what was it producing?
Nothing. It was still being built.
It was still being built. Okay, so where does our oil come from then?
Where does okay, so we get oil from a lot of places, from offshore drilling sites, drilling sites here at home in America, as well as other drilling sites worldwide. OPEC is going to be the world's largest oil producer, however.
Do you think that we should drill more in America?
Do I think that we should drill more in America? I think we're already... I mean, the U.S. is, leading. It's the world's leading nation insofar as oil drilling, and we're producing more oils barrels per day now than we ever have been before. I think that we're doing great when it comes to oil production, and I do think that oil production here at home in America is actually good, not only for us, but good for the world as a whole, because we're going to uphold stricter regulations when it comes to, carbon emissions, etc. So I actually do uphold the position that it's a good thing to drill at home here in America. But real quick, I got a question for you. Would you vote for a man that was held civilly liable for sexual abuse?
You're asking me if I would vote for Trump? Yes, I already answered that.
Okay, so you would vote for a man that was held sexually liable for sexual abuse. So just to clarify here, do you think that violent offenders should be able to buy firearms?
Before I get to that, can I ask you a question in response to your last question?
Yeah.
So why do these claims matter to what the job of... I'm sorry, I'm losing my words. Why do these claims, why do these trials, all this bullshit matter to what the job of being president? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
How if he weren't versus if he would, how does that change how he does his job?
Yeah, great question, and there's a great answer. If I want to let them watch over my kids, why would I let them watch over every single person in the nation, including all of the kids in the nation? Secondly, it normalizes these things. If we're saying that this man is a rapist, but we want him to lead the USA, this normalizes what his actions, and it tells everyone that they're acceptable. Okay. Then a third point here.
I disagree with that. But okay.
Wait, how could you possibly disagree with that? I mean, we've seen so many MAGA cultists and Trump supporters just flat out deny the findings of the civil litigation, further shaming victims. What does this tell to victims as a whole when a woman that not just accused a man of raping her, but then proved it in court is a liar on the basis of no evidence?
What I think is, and you can call it a conspiracy theory, you can say, where's your evidence, blah, 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 but, my thought is, this is all being brought up now, this is all being tried now, if it's real or not, just to get Trump off the ballot. I mean, Colorado had already, first of all, admitted that, and tried to get him off the ballot, and they couldn't do that. I mean, this is literally they're just trying to get him off the ballot because they know they can't beat him.
Yeah, so that's a fringe conspiracy theory that you have no evidence for.
I knew you were going to say that.
I hate when people bring up this argument that, oh, they're bringing it up now. Bro, Trump started running and campaigning for his presidency in like 2014, and if he wins re-election, he'll be in there until 2015, and if he wins re-election, he'll be in office until 2028. So you're just saying that anything that's brought up against Trump while he's in the spotlight in between 2015 and 2028 is automatically null?
I'm saying that hypothetically, if he never ran for president, was never president in the first place, if he was just, whatever citizen,
Wait, do you accept
hypothetically, if he was never president, no, let me finish.
Okay,
if he was never a president, never running for president, I honestly believe that if this is even real or not, it would have never been brought up.
Do you accept the conviction of Hunter Biden?
Of Hunter Biden? Sure.
Corin, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Corin. Let's get a W, Corin, in the chat. Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Corin says that you're rocking it today, Dean. I appreciate you for the love. Oh, wait, but why would you accept the conviction of Hunter Biden? Wait, but the only reason that's getting brought up is because his dad is currently president. I personally believe that it is the case that if Biden wasn't running for president, that these charges wouldn't have been brought up against Hunter, so therefore that we should just disregard them and call them bullshit. This is probably Trump and the RNC deep state manipulating the DOJ to unfairly persecute political opponents.
Yeah.
See how silly that sounds?
I honestly think that if Biden wasn't a politician for however long he's been, that it probably wouldn't have been brought up.
Okay, listen, here's my personal take on it. I don't mind if you hold to the conspiracy theory that it's only being brought up because he's in the national spotlight, but my opinion is we should definitely be more critical of people who are in the national spotlight that have this amount of power than people who aren't. So even if it is the case that further investigation has been done and people have been more inclined to bring these things up publicly speaking and in the courts, well then this is just holding the people who are in higher positions of power than us to a well-deserved higher standard. Okay, it doesn't mean that Trump didn't do these things. It just means that he's more likely to be called out for his bullshit. And personally speaking, I definitely think it's a good thing that we're calling a grapist out for being a grapist, point blank, period, ma'am.
Okay, so you think, and I know this wasn't brought up in court, but you think it's okay that Biden showers with his daughter?
Wait, so first of all, you're referencing Ashley Biden's diary. The contents of the diary are unverified. We don't know that Biden showered with his daughter.
Oh, okay. So
if it was verified, that's weird. Yeah, of course it's weird. Yeah, like that's weird as shit, but the contents of her diary are not verified. And until we do have verification for the contents of her diary, then of course, like, we're just going to hold to the claim that it's unverified.
Sure. So my stance is that, and I know you're going to take this out of context, and a lot of people in the comments are going to whine over this. It doesn't affect the job. It just does not. Just as, come at me, I guess.
Oh yeah, so you're just saying that it doesn't affect the job. I have a question. So if Hitler was still alive today and he promised never to genocide again, would you vote for him?
If Hitler was alive today, he would never associate with Republicans or Democrats because he was a Nazi socialist.
I know, but we're just gonna. So it wasn't a socialist party, but we don't even need to get into that. I'm just saying. So if it was the case that Hitler was alive today and he did live in the USA, do you think that it'd be okay for him to run for president because what he did in the past wouldn't affect the job?
I think that's a ridiculous argument that you're bringing up Hitler.
Oh, sure, fine. I'll just put it in a different context. If we found out that a presidential nominee was had raped a child, do you think that you'd vote for them?
Do you think that if Biden had done the same thing, you would vote for him?
Okay, don't pivot. With all due respect.
Well, turn the tape. No,
if Biden had done the same thing, it would be a much harder decision. But then I'd just say,
Why?
fuck, they're both rapists. But at the end of the day, at least this guy isn't a threat to our democracy. It'd just be much harder to vote for him. But I still inevitably would because there's much more reasons to vote for Biden, specifically apart from the fact that Trump is a proven rapist. But it is the case that no, Biden is not a proven rapist.
Yeah, he's not a proven rapist because nobody's going to go after him. He has a team literally bending over backwards to scrub his image.
You never answered my question. If it was the
what's the question?
If it was the case that your favorite presidential nominee was found to have raped a child, would you still vote for them because it wouldn't affect their job?
If it would, so if somebody that I supported had found to rape a child, and he was running for president,
because it wouldn't affect their job.
So probably, I would say no, but with a sidebar that it's not coming from people trying to get him off the ballot.
Okay, I have a question.
That's
so
literally
why is it the case that you'd say that you are still going to vote for Trump even though he raped a woman because it doesn't affect his job? But if he were to have raped a child, you wouldn't vote for him for that reason, regardless of the
because I'm critically thinking for myself. I'm smart enough to realize what is happening behind the scenes. Okay, you got to think for yourself and not take mainstream media points and word vomit all this convicted felon shit.
Wait, so you're literally saying that you're smart enough to just deny reality and contort it to fit your narrative?
No, actually, you put
then give me absolutely any fact. Give me any reason. Give me any evidence to believe that the rape charges brought against Trump are false.
Do you want me to give you evidence?
Yes.
You Okay, so this is the game that you all play. You play
the game is provide evidence. That's great.
No, it's the gotcha game. So you realize that these people that come onto these lives with you are more than likely 99% of the time going to be on their phone and can't bring up evidence, and you're probably on your laptop or have another device that you have all this pulled up for you, which probably somebody else pulled up for you and probably trained you to counteract these arguments.
Okay, are we like in 5th grade playing make-believe right now? Like I actually do feel like a lot of like Trump supporters today, the MAGA cultists, they remind me a lot of like the people in pre-K and kindergarten and 5th grade that like play like make believe on the playground. I remember like these kids used to like play family or like play horse, etc. Like that's just what you're doing, but you're an adult now. Like you're just like it's just delusion.
It's delusion. So okay. So you're trying to play the gotcha game. You're going to call me delusional, this, that, and the other thing. Okay. So that's your plan is to play the gotcha game. And I'm smart enough to realize I'm smart enough to realize that is exactly what you're doing. I'm smart enough to realize that is exactly what you're doing. And I don't know if you're getting paid specifically, but I know your friends are definitely getting paid.
Well, you think I'm getting paid by the DMC? Yo, Leslie, thank you for the $2. Wait, yo, Leslie, thank you for the $2 on Venmo for support for your Democrat training. Thank you so much for the love, Leslie. Let's go. Thank you so much. And Matt with a $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Matt. Lee with a $20 on Venmo 4 minutes ago. Proud of you. Thank you so much, Lee. Let's get some massive W Lees in the comment section for the $20 on Venmo. Let's get 20 W Lees. And Daniel with a $10 on Venmo. Let's see. Please ask how they would feel the person who assaulted them became president. 27 women have said that Trump assaulted them. Good question. Danielle, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Yeah, how would you feel like of a man like raped you and then became president? How would that make you feel?
Why would my feelings matter in this situation?
Why would your feelings matter? Because why would you want your rapist sitting in the Oval Office?
How do my feelings affect how they do their job?
Because how would you want your rapist sitting in the Oval Office?
Well, how does that affect their job?
If someone graped your kid, would you vote for them?
If someone graped my kid, would I vote for them?
If it didn't affect their job in the Oval Office?
Hypothetically speaking, if they if they were better than the other, if they were better for the other, if they were better than the other candidate, then the answer is yes. And if your jaw's going to go on the floor, I swear to God, you bend over backwards just to scrub Biden's image. It's hilarious. You bend over backwards just to scrub this guy's image. It's hilarious. The dude has dementia. This guy can't put forth a sentence. I don't speak well myself either, obviously. We've been having this conversation. I don't have media training. I'm not sure if you do, but I'm sure your friends do. You gonna respond, or?
Do you think that violent offenders should be able to own pew-pews?
Do I think violent offenders should own pew-pews? No.
But
Do I think Donald Trump is a violent offender? Do I think he is? No.
So grape.
Do I think Biden is? No. What?
So grape isn't a violent offense.
Do you need a gun or a pew-pew to rape somebody or grape somebody?
There is definitely scenarios where they use one.
Do you think Trump did that?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So why is this relevant?
Wait, why is this relevant? Because you said that violent offenders shouldn't be able to own pew-pews, and grape is a violent offense.
So you're making it a blanket term.
Wait, I am using the term violent offender blanketly to like suggest multiple things such as murderers, rapists, etc. What's the problem with that?
What's the problem with that?
Is grape not violent?
So how does it relate to owning a pew-pew specifically?
Because violent offenders, using as a blanket term, shouldn't be able to own pew-pews. But 1 second here. Yo, Mackenzie with the $10 on Venmo from the DNC. Let's get a W Mackenzie in the chat for the $10 on the DNC. I guess they're paying me today. Emily with the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Emily. Susanna with a $5 on Venmo. She says she's Pharmacy Susan from Parker's Live. Oh my God, you changed your name. You're fucking insane. Thank you so much. And Edward with a $10 on Venmo from the DNC. Thank you so much for the love, Edward. Thank you so much. Massive W Edward, W Mackenzie, W Emily, W Susanna, and W DNC most importantly. But yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that too. You think that some of my friends are paid by the DNC? Why so?
Because it's on the FEC website.
Are you referencing Harry and Palette Media?
No, it doesn't even say Palette Media. It just says Harry Sisson, which I think is funny.
Oh, yeah. So, no, that's wrong. The FEC filings that you're referencing are from 2022, and that's particularly money.
Well, the latest one was 2023, but okay.
Ryan, I appreciate you for the $2 on Venmo. There's no FEC filings from 2023. However, it is the case.
Actually, there is.
These are filings in which is money going from the DNC to Palette Media, which is...
Why doesn't it say that?
Why does it say that? It's because the DNC sent money to them to do advertising.
Why doesn't it say that?
Why doesn't it say what?
It does not say Palette Media or management or whatever it's called.
What does it say?
It literally says, whatever entity is like Midas Touch, and then the other one was, I think, called Democracy Against whatever. And then
wait, that's not the DNC. Yeah, those are payments directly to Harry from Midas Touch and Democracy Defense Against Americans. That's not the
I never said it was the DNC.
Okay, so Harry makes money. What's the big deal?
So it's actually campaign money. That if you know, FEC is a federal election campaign. So those people are those.
Yeah, he got paid like $2,000 to do a campaign. What's the big deal?
It wasn't $2,000, but whatever.
Like what's the fucking big deal here?
So my point is, you guys are bending.
Yo, Jannard, thank you for the $15 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Jannard. Let's get a W Jannard in the comment section for the $15 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much, Jannard. $15 from the DNC. Like, you understand that here's like $10,000-$15,000 that he got paid out in 2022, 2023. Like, are you saying that this is all the money from the Biden administration for the next couple of years, and this is what he's using to support Biden? $20,000 over the course of a couple of years from a shell corporation that isn't related to the DNC or Biden's campaign is the reason why he's on here defending Biden. No, the reason that Harry's on here defending Biden, the reason that I'm on here defending Biden, the reason that any reasonable person is on here defending Biden is because they know what the alternative is. That alternative being a grapist, a felon, an election denier, a conspirator, a narcissistic POS that tried to hold on to power and baby rage when he lost the 2020 election so he convinced tens of millions of American voters that the system was rigged against him.
I know, I've heard you say this a million times. Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, what do you do for a day job? I'm just curious.
This is my job.
This is being on social media.
Yeah,
I've heard that's more.
Is there an issue with this?
No, I was just asking. I've heard that's more of a common job for people nowadays.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool that.
Appreciate you for coming up. We're going to move on to our next guest. Y'all, if you're voting for Trump, let me know in that chat, guys. Just let me know with the MAGA. I'll go ahead and pull up our next guest up in here, y'all. Also, guys, do double tap on that phone screen. Do share out that live, y'all. Y'all already know. We're going to go and load up our next guest here, so everyone just going to give us a moment. We got our next guest loading in right now, y'all. If you're voting for Trump, make sure to let me know in that chat, y'all. Also, do double tap on that phone screen. She was yapping. Yeah, she was a pro yapper. Yo, Gregory with the $34 on Venmo. Gregory says hourly payment from the DNC. Thank you so much for the love, Gregory. Let's get a W Gregory in the chat for the $34 on Venmo. 34 W's Gregory's at least, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Gregory. What's up, Andrew? How old are you?
20.
You're 20. Are you voting for Trump?
Yeah.
Okay, why so, man?
Personally, just because, like, does have to tie in religion. And if I may say something really quickly, I personally believe, like, if you're going to call other people a cult because of what they believe and interrupting people while they make their point by going, oh, donation, and then go straight to a sentence, I don't believe that's good.
You don't know what you just did, Andrew. You don't know Andrew. You don't know what you just did. You don't know what you just did, Andrew. But anyways, yeah. So you said that you're voting for Trump because of religious purposes. What religious purposes do you have to vote for Trump?
What do you mean?
You said that you're voting for Trump because of religion. Like, how would religion make you want to vote for Trump?
Because, like, it has to do with, like, you know, abortion and some other stuff.
Okay, yeah. What year were you born in?
2004.
2004, and you said you're 20?
Yep.
What month were you born in?
February.
February. Okay, yeah, that make you 20. I guess you just sound a little bit young. Yo, Parker, thank you so much for covering me.
All right,
quick,
Dean,
man.
hurry up, bro. Run.
All right, run. I'm gonna be right back, Chad.
Dean,
I just gotta go pee. Parker's gonna cover me.
Run! Run, Dean! Okay, Andrew, why do you believe what you believe, man? Like, do you want to vote for someone who's been held legally responsible for sexual abuse?
Honestly, like, I don't believe that was good for sexual abuse.
Wait, say it again?
I don't believe that he was, like, you know, sexual abuse.
You don't believe that he was held legally responsible for sexual abuse?
Yeah.
He was. You can find this on every media platform.
Oh, all right. Well, my bad.
Yeah, so a jury held him legally responsible for sexual abuse in a civil court. Would you accept that determination?
No, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't think both options are great. That's why, really, if it comes down to it, just religion, because I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel like great options.
Are you Christian?
Yes.
Yeah. Would Jesus vote for Trump or Biden?
Jesus, on earth. So I mean, I don't understand how.
No, I'm just asking. Like, Jesus, would he vote for Trump or Biden? Would he decide to pick the guy who wants, you know, fascism, is held legally responsible for sexual abuse, defamation, fraud, he has 34 felonies? Would he pick the guy who said you dated a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, cheated on every single one of his wife, his last one with a corn star, the one he's currently dating while she was pregnant? Like, yeah. Would he vote for that guy?
Jesus, like I said, Jesus would have, like, in religion, you know, like he can't vote. I don't think he would be even a citizen.
No, but I'm asking you, if he would vote for Trump or Biden, given that he has to pick between the two.
He wouldn't. I mean, no.
He has to either pick Trump or Biden, right? Which one would he pick?
I mean, those are both terrible choices. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, so how is Biden worse?
I don't know a lot, but I'm just coming up to just say what I want to say.
Okay.
All right, we're just gonna move on. Parker, thank you so much for covering me real quick, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. Have a good time on live.
Thanks, man. Peace out, Parker.
Peace out.
Then Andrew, yeah. So just hey, real quick, man. I just wanted to say, so you were a bit mad earlier that people were donating to me while others were talking. So real quick, why are you voting for Trump? Just one more time.
Cause religion.
Kelsey, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Kelsey. And Ryan, thank you for the $2 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Ryan. All right, see, Andrew, we're going to move on to our next guest here, y'all. Let's go and get our next guest, Michael, up in here. Also, Ryan with the $2 on Venmo. Thank you for the love. And Edward with the $10 on Venmo from the DNC. I really appreciate you for the love, Edward. We're going to go and get our next guest up in here right now, guys. If we are voting for Trump, make sure to let me know in that chat. What's up, Michael? How old are you? All right, Michael's not here. We're gonna go to move on. Let's go and see what our next guest has to. Let's go to see what our next guest has to say. Let's go to get Chevy Gang up in here. I'm also gonna go ahead and send out a quick poll in that chat. Let me see a smiley face if you're riding for Biden, a sad face if you're voting for Dipey Don. What's up, Chevy Gang? How old are you?
Shit, I'm 35, boy.
35. Sweet. Are you voting for Trump, sir?
Man, I'm not voting for either one of them. I'll tell you.
At least you're not voting for Trump. Grandma Cat, thank you for the money gun. I appreciate you for the love, Grandma Cat. Moving on to our next guest. If you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I got to get Kevin. I got to get Kevin up here. I got to get Kevin. We could also talk to Lord Humongous if you want. We could see how that would go for a fourth time. Kevin, what's going on, brother? How old are you?
Hello.
What's up, man? How old are you?
Good, how are you?
I asked you how old you are.
Oh, my bad. I'm 37.
Nice, man. Are you voting for Trump?
I did vote for Trump.
I'm asking if you're voting for Trump in November.
Yes, I am.
Okay, why so?
I'm voting for Trump because I'm voting for his policies.
Okay, yeah. Can you name one policy that Trump influenced to get passed that benefited the middle class more so than rich people?
Can I name a policy that helped out the middle class, you said?
Yeah, more so than the rich people.
I don't have all the facts and policies in front of me. I know you guys like to degrade people if they don't have the policies and facts in front of them and stuff, but
Motherfucker, you said you're voting for him because of his policies. Of course I'm gonna expect you to know a policy.
yeah, under Trump there wasn't high inflation. Under Trump there wasn't I can't even get a house. I live in a condo right now. I can't even get a fucking house in New Jersey because it's just insane.
Okay,
So
yeah. How did Biden cause
voting
inflation?
on those facts.
How did Biden cause inflation?
By undoing everything Trump did.
Like, what specifically did Biden undo of Trump's that caused inflation?
Well, Green New Deal has something big to do to it too, doing all electricity shit.
How did the Green New Deal cause inflation?
Because it rolled back a lot of, like, we're not energy independent. We weren't doing all the stuff that Trump was doing.
Okay, yeah, so specifically, so the Green New Deal was presented by AOC in Congress, and do you know specifically when the Green New Deal was introduced in 2021 to 2022, so this isn't specifically going to be caused by Biden, but if you want to reference, like, particularly how Biden didn't cause inflation, it was because the inflation that we saw, also the Green New Deal was never passed, sorry, duh, okay, then also here, it is the case that the inflation that we saw was global, right? You go northeast, southwest after the pandemic, you'll run into the same inflation. It was caused by the pandemic. In fact, in the US, we saw one of the quickest rebounds from it.
Okay, so how come before Trump left office, it wasn't, like, terrible?
Because the pandemic hadn't hit yet, and there hadn't been a response from the feds increasing the money supply. But we did see one of the sharpest increases of the money supply under Trump's presidency in 2020.
Okay, so what Biden policies did he put out that's actually, like, making everything go back to normal? Because a lot of people are still feeling
Okay, Kevin,
from-
you're boring. I'm moving on. Peace out. If you're mad, make sure to let me know in that chat. We're just going to move on from that. You sound a bit sleepy. Okay, we need to wake the fuck up, ladies and gentlemen. If you're voting for Biden, let me know in the chat. Right? We need some true patriot MAGA Americans up in here, y'all. I appreciate you for the hand arts. We're going to go to move on to our next guest here, y'all. Let's go and get our next guest up in the queue. What's up? How old are you?
Yo, 34.
34, sweet. 1 second. Molly, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Molly says thank you from Joe Biden himself. I appreciate you for the love, Molly. Ryan with the $2 on Venmo. It says, Ryan, thank you for the $2. Kelsey with an 8 with a $5 saying Susan is what bending over backward looks like. Absolutely, Kelsey. What's going on, man? Are you voting for Dipey Don?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why so?
The reason why I won't vote for the other guy is because he's been a politician for like well past my lifetime, and I ain't really seen much positivity come from under his watch.
Wait, so you'd say that you're not going to vote for Biden because he's been a career politician, but you will vote for Trump even though he's raped a woman?
So check this out. Biden is a career politician who's done...
So is Trump now, by the way, just putting that out there.
Biden has done almost nothing for the middle class, which you keep speaking about.
Can you name one policy that Trump passed that benefited the middle class more so than the top 1%?
Right. See, I'm not here to talk about the middle class, though. I'm
literally just brought them up.
No. You keep talking about the middle class.
Thank you, you're amazing. I appreciate you, Mackenzie.
You keep talking about the middle class and how Trump has done nothing for them. Let's not talk about the middle class. Let's talk about what Biden has done to mass incarcerate a lot of individuals all over this country. I understand you are young, but you have the facts at your fingertips. It's called the internet. You can look it up. Joe Biden isn't a saint by any means. Like, I'm not sitting here saying Trump is, but Joe Biden is a dirty, like, scammer. But he like bamboozles people, and everybody believes that Democrats are so...
So Trump was held civilly liable for rape. Trump told a 10-year-old girl that he dated her in 10 years. Trump said that he likes to walk into the changing rooms of half-naked teen girls at Miss Teen USA because he owns a place with some girls being as young as 15 there. Trump said he'd date his own daughter if he wasn't a daughter. Howard Stern called Trump's daughter a piece of ass on SiriusXM, and Trump said, yeah. Trump also cheated on 3 of his wives. Trump said that he likes to unconsensually grab women by the P word. If you're trying to say that Biden is innocent and has a bad character, well, it is the case that Trump is ultimately worse.
So let me ask you a question. Are you only voting for Biden because you believe that Trump is worse than Biden?
Yes.
Okay. So it's not just about the actual president that's going to make or break this country.
I think for this year it is, because I think if we re-elect Trump, well, then what we're looking at is we're particularly looking at a furthered shift of the American interest from intellect, critical thought, and good reasoning to just engagement in fringe conspiracy theories. We're looking at the normalization of sexism, rape, and this furthered perpetuation of misogyny. We're looking at like particular marginalized communities in the context of the United States having their rights up for grabs because of things like Project 2025 and Agenda 47. We're particularly going to be look at like tariffs that he says he wants to impose to replace the federal income tax with, that will only serve as a further detriment to the middle class. They're not progressive, they're regressive. I mean, like, there's so many good reasons to vote for Biden here. But I guess my question to you would be, would you let someone that was held civilly liable for sexual abuse babysit your kids?
Well, ain't nobody babysitting my children, young man.
Can you answer my question? If you needed a babysitter and someone wanted to, but they had been held civilly liable for sexual abuse, would you let them?
Again, nobody's babysitting my children. I have one daughter. I didn't have a child to just let people babysit her.
Okay, bro. It's a hypothetical question. It's a hypothetical question. Can you answer?
But like a direct answer, no, I wouldn't let nobody babysit my child, no matter what. Like, that's weird. Like,
okay, if it is the case that you needed a babysitter, right, would you let someone that was held civilly liable for sexual abuse babysit them? If it was the case that you needed a babysitter?
No, absolutely not.
So why would you let them run the country?
He got convicted in a civil case, right?
Yeah, he was upheld in a civil court of law.
Yeah, okay, so he was upheld in a civil court of law, and then he is doubling back, and he's appealing it, right?
So on what grounds do you think that Trump has to appeal the case?
Okay, I don't know what grounds he has to appeal the case.
Because they don't exist.
Hey, but check this out, though. Since you want to be hypothetical, let's be hypothetical. Do you believe any of this would have came to light and they would have tried to hold him if he would have just stuck to what he said in the 80s to what's her name, Oprah Winfrey, and he said he wouldn't run for presidency? Do you think they'd actually come after him?
I mean, I'm not E. Jean Carroll. How could we know?
I know, but like, do you honestly, like, put everything aside and don't pick either or? Do you really believe, as a U.S. citizen, that they would come after this man randomly with the fame and the power he has if he wasn't running for presidency?
I think my best answer would be I hope so, because I want rapists to be held accountable regardless if they're in high positions of power or not. But I definitely do think it's true when individuals are in higher positions of power that they're going to be examined more critically, right? But I think that that's something that we should do. That's something that is good because we need to critically examine the people in such high positions of power better, right? But ultimately speaking, I think that all rapists should be held accountable for their actions. This would include Trump if he didn't run for president.
Absolutely. I totally agree. For everything they do, not just grape allegations, every single thing they do, but there's no accountability in America. You see,
voting for Trump is like getting rid of accountability in America. Voting for Trump is like completely ignoring accountability for a rapist, for a felon, for an election denier. It's avoiding accountability for someone who has an extreme history of sexism, disrespect, violence, and like sexualization towards women. Like, that's another great question. How can you expect Trump to effectively legislate for all the women and girls, half of our population, when he has such an extreme track record of not just blatant disrespect, but sexualization and violence towards women? Like, how can you expect him to account for their thoughts, wants, and desires in the Oval Office when he's obviously demonstrated to the American people that this isn't something he's done, since he became a young man?
Can I ask you a question?
Well, if you answer mine.
Look, I don't agree with majority of what Trump.
Okay, we're moving on to our next guest because he couldn't answer the question. Guys, if you're voting for Trump, let me know in the comment section. We're gonna go ahead and pull our next guest up here right now, ladies and gentlemen. We are just looking for debates here today. If y'all do want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio. Great way to support me. I get 100% of the proceeds over those platforms. We're gonna go and load up our next guest, Sancho, up in the live. So everyone, just kind of give us a moment here. We are just looking for some debates here today. Also, I'm gonna go ahead and run a quick poll in that chat, y'all. Let me see a smiley face if you're riding with Biden, a sad face if you're voting for Dipey Don here today. What's up, Sancho? How old are you?
41.
You're 41. Are you voting for Trump, sir?
Yeah.
Why so?
I just think that I agree with just things that as far as the way things were when he was running for president. But I really wanted to come on here and just say that there's things that you're saying that I don't agree with, like saying that he's a convicted felon. Well, technically he's not yet. Okay. So you can't say that because
he is a convicted felon. So he was charged.
No, you're not a convicted felon until the judge enters a judgment of guilt, which he hasn't done yet. So
okay,
he's not.
Yes, he was found guilty of 34 felonies.
That doesn't make you a convicted felon. The judge has to enter a conviction or a judgment of guilt before he can be a felon.
Okay, so are you just referencing like legal semantics here?
Right. So, but he hasn't been.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't care about the legal semantics. He's a felon as he was found guilty of 34.
But if we're going to deal with facts, so technically factual, he's not a felon yet. So you can't say that.
Well, I think that you're misappropriately using your terminology here. I think once an individual is found guilty of a felony, then he's a felon.
No, because he's not. So he's postponed. Okay, so they postponed.
Okay, would you say that when the judge ultimately does enter these into the systems, would you still vote for him?
He's a felon. Okay, then he's a felon.
Can you answer my question? So when the judge enters these charges, so why does it matter? Because you would still vote for a convicted felon.
No, because I'm just saying that you're saying that he's a felon. You're not dealing with facts here is what I'm saying.
So when I'm referencing him being a convicted felon, I'm referencing him being found guilty of 34 felonies.
But what if he overturns? What if they overturn it? Then what?
On what grounds do they have to appeal the 34 felonies?
Well, first there's the due process rights. First of all,
on what grounds do they have to appeal the 34 felony convictions?
Because for those to be felonies, first of all, there has to be underlying crime. Okay.
Can you answer my question?
I'm telling you right now. This is for those to be felonies, there have to be underlying crimes to turn them into a felony. Okay.
Yeah, there was.
So then tell me,
he was committing financial fraud with an intent to sway an election.
What was the underlying crime that he was covering up in the indictment? Tell me that.
With an intent to sway an election.
Was that in the indictment?
Was that under indictment?
Is it in the indictment? No, was that listed in the indictment?
Yes.
No, it was not. You're lying. It was not. Look it up yourself. It was not. There's no other crime listed in the indictment. Dude, it's the Sixth Amendment. You have to know what you're being charged with. You have to know. You cannot. And then the jury instructions were.
I mean, yes, it was. It was listed in the indictment. Yeah.
It's not. I promise.
Okay, so do you just come up here to contort reality?
How's that contort reality? It's not listed there. So technically.
Can you give me any evidence of this?
It's not in the indictment. Look up the indictment yourself. It's not there. There's no other charge. There's 34 charges of the same charge. They're all the same charge.
So there's I mean, it just simply is in the indictment.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I'm just one
pull it
second,
up then,
Sancho.
pull it up.
I'm just gonna go and talk.
Pull it
so
up.
simply is in the indictment.
It's not. Pull it up.
Okay, so you want me to sit here and go through the indictment?
No, just pull it up. There's 34 counts of the same charge. Falsifying business record.
Okay, so for it to be a felony in the state of New York, it's necessarily a two-step crime. So you have to falsify business documentation with an intent to commit a second crime.
What's that second crime?
What's the second crime? I believe that the prosecutioner set forward 3.
During the jury instructions, though. During the jury, that's way too
Okay,
late.
so you agree that they set
That's
forward
way
second
too late,
crimes.
though. That is due process. You have to know ahead of time. How's he gonna mount a proper defense if he don't even know until the jury instructions, so the case is over already?
Okay, so yeah,
That's
so
way too late.
the second step crime is going to be election interference, and you're just saying here that there wasn't due process. However, this isn't constitutionally upheld. In the state of
No, it's not.
the state of
That's
New
a
York,
federal crime.
in the state of New York, the law is like very clear. Okay, so yeah, the jury found him guilty of these 34 felonies, and you're just saying because they didn't make the second law explicitly clear, but offered 3 instead, that this is somehow not a valid conviction. However, it is the case that in accordance with New York state law, they don't need to clearly state what the second crime is. They just need to articulate to the jury what it could be. And if there's reasonable grounds beyond a shadow of a doubt to assume one of the 3 in which they set forward, they can be convicted of the felonies per New York state legislator. And it is the case that the jury found reasonable grounds to convict Donald Trump of the 34 felonies, with the second step crime being an intent to sway an election, or in other words, election interference. And that's the facts. If you want me to get a lawyer up in here to literally tell you the same thing I just said to you, but again, I certainly can.
Does Constitution trump state law? Or state accordance, whatever you want to call it. What's higher? Constitutional
Constitution.
Law? Okay, so the Constitution, 6th Amendment, if you look it up, they have to tell you what you're being charged with ahead of the very beginning. Everybody has a right to know what you're being charged with.
And the two-step crime was clear.
So if you didn't tell them at the beginning of the trial, how is that not violated?
Wait, it was. It was a lot. So what it was particularly was. Okay,
it wasn't mentioned until jury instructions.
I'm making this incredibly clear to you. So particularly what he was charged with was financial fraud with an intent to. Okay, I'm not. What am I lying about? I'm literally telling you New York state law.
Jury instructions. That's at the end of the trial. That's already over with.
So no, what they had to do is they had to present
3%.
According to state law, they had to present what the step crime was.
Bro, you just said constitutional law states.
Bro,
you just said constitutional law.
Sancho, I need to finish.
Oh my god, bro! Because you're just making shit up. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not making shit up. I'm literally telling you what the law is.
I'm told you. You just said constitutional law trumps the state law. So how can that even? How's your argument?
Constitution trumps the state law, but Constitution doesn't barter upon the state law.
Oh my god! So does it trump it or not?
Oh, the Constitution trumps the state
law.
Then how is your However, the state law is constitutional because the state law is constitutional.
That doesn't even make sense, dude.
Yeah, it acts in accordance with the Constitution.
Law,
it doesn't. It doesn't violate the Constitution.
The 6th Amendment guarantees everybody the right to know what you're being charged with, no matter what. I don't care.
Yeah, and Trump and his defense lawyers had the right to know what he was being charged with, and they did.
Did they?
He was particularly being charged with falsification of business records with an intent to commit a second crime. However, per the particular state law, a specific articulation of that second crime is not required, and this also isn't required given the Constitution, right? If you want to say that it's possible that given the Constitution that there's potential grounds to appeal, maybe you could make this given an interpretation of the Constitution. However, there's also a valid interpretation given like professionals in the context of the law that it is not the case that second crime has to be clearly articulated for this crime to be in obedience with the Constitution, and that's the facts.
But it has to be. They have to be. It has to be.
Like everyone. Feel free to send this to Law in the Wild or whatever the hell that lawyer guy's name is. Are you a legal professional? Do you have a degree in law, sir?
What I'm saying is,
no. Do you have a degree in law, sir? Do you have a degree in law? Do you have a degree in law?
Do you?
No, I don't. That's why I'm appealing to Law of the Wild, and that's why I'm trying to get that on the stream. Do you have a degree in law?
I know how to read just like you do.
So you don't have a degree in law?
Of course not. Nobody. Do you have a degree? No, you don't.
No, that's why I'm trying to get a lawyer up here right now. Law of the Wild. So what I'm particularly saying here, Sancho, here's what I'm saying.
It's a two-step.
Okay, Sancho, you're interrupting me, so now you go on mute. So what I'm particularly saying is that in accordance with state legislator as well as the Constitution, Trump and his defense lawyers did have the right to know he was being charged with, but what he was literally being charged with was falsification of business records with an intent to commit a second crime.
I understand.
Right? However, that is the charge. That is the charge, okay? And it is particularly the case that they knew that this was the charge. However, it didn't need to be definedly cleared what that second crime was, and this is in accordance with the Constitution, and this is the opinion of legal professionals.
Okay, then get one on, get a lawyer on everything, because I know what the Constitution says, and it's a two-part crime. It's a two-part crime.
It is a two-part crime, and they made that two-part
Okay,
crime clear. They,
but
they told him what
you
he was being
can't-
charged with.
you
Wait,
have
so
to show
Sancho,
the other
yes or no?
part.
Yes or no? What's the charge? Committing financial fraud with an intent to commit a second crime or to
But
like
what's
cover
the
up concealed
second
wealth.
crime? What is
No,
the
no,
second
no.
crime?
Okay, I'm Sancho. Listen to me
That's what
closely.
you're having. That's what you're not understanding. You
Sancho,
can't just say, oh,
Sancho,
there's a crime,
Sancho,
not
Sancho,
wrong.
Sancho. The charge was falsification of business records with an intent to cover up or commit a second crime.
I understand
That is the
that.
name of the charge.
I
Trump, as
understand.
well as his lawyers, were filled in on this particular charge from the moment they walked into the courtroom.
Yeah.
And this is why due process was concerned, as they were made aware of this charge. The
But you
particular
have to-
second crime isn't required to be articulated for this charge to uphold
Then
within the
how can
Constitution.
you mount a defense? How can you prove that they're not intending to do a second crime if you don't even know what it is?
By disproving that there was financial fraud in the first place.
But no,
which
but
is
that's
what they
only misdemeanor,
attempted to
though.
do.
That's only
And then if
misdemeanor.
it was the case
But
that
that's
his
only
lawyers,
misdemeanor.
but if it was the case that his lawyers did not know that this was in accordance with the Constitution, well, then they would have argued this in the court of law. Did they argue this?
Dude, they never said anything until the jury instructions what that
Did
second
they?
crime was.
Did Trump's lawyers argue that
Of
this
course
conviction
all
was
this stuff got denied. A lot
unconstitutional?
of their motions got denied. A lot of their motions got denied.
So
That's
they
why
didn't
they're appealing
argue
it.
that
That's
this was
why they're appealing it.
unconstitutional?
That's why they appealed.
And
it.
now they're trying to argue it in the appeal.
They already.
So
appealed
are
it.
you
That's what
saying
they
that you
did.
could do a better job than Trump's lawyers by defending him by clearly articulating how
saying
it's
that the judge
unconstitutional
denied their
due to the
motion.
fact
The
that the
judge denied their
prosecutioners?
motions.
Wait, why did the
judge
judge
denied
deny?
them.
What particular motion?
Oh my god. So now you want to pull up motion?
You're emotional. You're an emotional wreck.
Because you act like if you don't tell somebody until you have to be able to defend yourself against that. second crime.
Sancho.
have
Let
to be able to
them
defend
deal
yourself
with it
against
in the
second
appeals
crime.
court. Why are we, as people who are not lawyers, not legal professionals,
Because I
trying to
can
say
read.
that it? Because you can read. No, you're interpreting it. So the particular crime that was committed was was financial fraud with an intent to commit a second crime. In
Okay,
accordance
but
with
if you
due
could
process.
disprove that second
One second,
crime-
Sancho, shut up. And in accordance with the Constitution, right? This is all that they had to be filled in about, and it was the case that they have known this since they walked into the courtroom. And once again, in accordance with state law and in accordance with the Constitution,
First
they
of all,
don't
don't tell me to shut up,
particularly
or
have to be
I'll-
informed. Hey, shut up! They don't particularly have to be.
Don't tell me to shut up. I'm not
What the
your-
fuck
you're not
did you?
my dad.
Did you say the F slur?
Yeah, you don't tell me to shut up. I don't tell you.
Sorry, chat. He slurred. Like what a sad little man. What a sad little man. What a sad little man. Typical MAGA cultist. Typical MAGA cultist. Slurring because he gets mad because he's getting dunked on. What's up, SPV? How do you? Oh, they got a shit mic. What a sad, shitty little MAGA cultist just saying all these slurs because they're getting dunked on. Right? He's just so mad because a 19-year-old knew more than him about law. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, that's nothing more than what we should expect out of MAGA cultists such as him. Yeah, they start losing, so they start slurring. That's the script, ladies and gentlemen. They lose and then they slur. That is the script, guys. We're going to go to move on to our next guest. Let's go to get Mr. JR up in the live here. So everyone just give us a moment. What's going on? How do you?
What's up, man? 36. I also
36.
had before you. Okay, so you said before in your
Are you voting
previous-
for Trump, sir?
Yeah, I'm voting for Trump.
All right, why
And
so?
then you said, what has Trump ever done for the middle class, right? So
No, I particularly was asking the question, can you name one policy that Trump has benefited the middle class more so than the top 1%?
You asked somebody else what Trump has done for the middle class.
No, I
So
asked him
would
the question
say-
if they can name a policy that benefits the middle class more so than the top 1%.
Let's close the borders. Does that qualify?
Closing the borders would actually serve as a detriment to the middle class, as it is the reason that undocumented migrants actually supply more to the economy than they take away. So having less active participants within the economy would further serve as a detriment. However, it is the case that I think if you would hold to the position that we should close the borders, then you should also be mad at Trump because he told the Republicans in Congress to vote against Biden's 2 proposed border bills because it quote unquote made the Democrats look good, and he even said quote unquote to blame it on him if the border bills fail.
All right. So you had the thing where you said, what did he ever do for the middle class? And I just wanted to hit that as well. So he added an estimate, right? You know, his policies added about $6,000 into the middle class family income. Is that true?
So what particular policy?
Is it true?
Is it true? I don't know if it is. I don't
So
think
is it true? Is it true for 40 months in a row there were more jobs than openings that people were hiring for?
So how did Trump cause there to be more jobs than openings?
I don't know exactly what he passed. I'm just saying the result of what he did. And then,
well, if you don't know how he did it, then how do you know that he did it in the first place? Because this is called a correlation causation argument. You're essentially saying because this happened under his presidency, then it was caused by Trump. However, we could do this and make him look really bad. He's one of the only 2 sitting presidents that has ever left office with a negative net loss in jobs. He also left office with a record high 14.8% unemployment rate. So would you say that Trump caused those?
No, COVID, a global pandemic caused that.
Okay, so if it is the case that you'd say that other things caused the bad things under Trump's presidency, well, then you'd have to give me specific reason to believe that he caused the good things. So how specifically did Trump cause there to be more job openings than
also for everybody, and you keep saying this SA abuser and this.
Are you pivoting, sir? You're on pause. I can't hear you. So, but this is a pivot. You're saying that there's like more job openings than people that were hiring for 40 consecutive months. And I asked you how Trump caused this and you wouldn't have been able to answer. So you're just associating it with Trump because it occurred under his presidency. However, I demonstrated to you how we could use your same logic to show that he caused negative net loss in jobs as well as a record high unemployment rate. Then you're like, no, we could say that other things caused that. Right? So what I'm particularly saying here is I want you to prove to me that other things didn't cause the 40 months of, record like job openings, and by giving me an argument to show how Trump particularly caused them.
Well, you want me to add specifics, and I don't know what they passed or anything. I'm just saying what was there in his presidency, because it seems like you're giving Biden you're giving him credit for what he's done during his presidency.
Okay, well, yeah, if your argument is just what happened when he was in the Oval Office, then we could attribute the negative net loss in jobs and the record high unemployment rate because those are things that happened while he was in the Oval Office.
Right, so I thought that's what we were doing there. And,
this
also
would show Trump to have caused one of the worst economies ever.
No, a global pandemic did.
Okay, so you're saying that other things outside of the presidency caused things that happened during his presidency, and I'm asking you to show me that this isn't the case when we're referencing the 40 consecutive months of more job openings and people hiring by showing me particularly how it was caused by Trump by attributing particular policy or executive order. So can you name the policy or executive order that Trump signed into law that caused there to be 40 consecutive months with more job openings and people hiring?
Well, I don't, you have a lot of time on your hands, I guess, researching and stuff like that. I don't know what it was, but you said what he ever did for the middle class, and he does get credit for this in the middle class. And
okay, sir, JR, I want you to give me name a policy or an executive order that he influenced to get passed that caused this to be the case, or I'm kicking you out and moving on to my next guess. Well, okay. I've detailed to you exactly how this is a correlation causation fallacy. I've even given you the example of the record high unemployment, and you've proved my point by attributing that to something other than Trump, even though it happened under his presidency. So be logical, be rational, and answer my question insofar as what policy or executive
I'm being rational. I just said I was on a limited time, and I only wanted to end with one thing. I didn't care about that. Just this one thing that you keep pushing forward and pushing forward. You even have it on your header right there. That I honestly think if Donald Trump was to see this, he'd probably sue you for the last $10 you have in your account for defamation of character, because he was never.
We can't hear you when you're on pause, Jay. Also, Sin, I appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Sin. Let's get a W, Sin, in the comment section. Jay, I have $15 in my account now. Sin just sent me $5. How do you feel about that?
I think Trump should sue you for the rest of your $15 to your name.
Yeah, I have $15 now because Sin just sent me $5 on Venmo. Wait, was that supposed to be an insult saying I have $10 to my name?
How would you as a person could put that hateful stuff?
Yo, Melissa with $10 on Venmo with $25 in my account now. Let's get a W, Melissa, for the $10 on Venmo. Yo, I have $25 to my name now because Melissa. How does that make you feel, Mr. JR?
Okay, you have 25. I feel like he should go after all 25 for the defamation of character.
Kelly with another $5 and Cam with $10 on Venmo with more to be sued for. Thank you for the love, Kelly and Cam. W, Kelly and Cam. So now I actually have $40 to be sued for. Thank you so much, Cam and Kelly. Sean with the $4 on Venmo says more lawsuit money. Yeah, I have $44 in my account.
You can't even vote.
I have $4. Wait, you said 19-year-olds can't vote, dude?
You didn't vote in the last election. You didn't vote in the last
they just
election.
sent me another $4. So is Trump gonna sue me for my $44 now?
It should go after all of it for your defamation of character. TikTok should ban you
Yeah,
for
and I
the
appreciate
grape
you for
usage
the
because he was never convicted of it. So you should learn your facts. Carol, that whole thing was not grape, as you say. So I think you should take down what you
Sonny with a $5 on Venmo account going
got
up, says
nothing to
Sonny.
say.
Now I have $45 in my Venmo. Thank you so much for the love. And Shirley with a $15 on Venmo. Now we have $65 to be sued for. W Shirley for the $15 on Venmo. Tara with a $10. Now we have $75 to be sued for. Tara, thank you so much for the $10 for Dean's Legal Fund. Thank you for the love. James with a $5. Now we have $80 to be sued for. James says you're getting so much money off this guy, and I love it. That's crazy, but I appreciate you for the love. And Jenna with $1. Now we have $81 to be sued for. I appreciate you for the love, Jenna. So, Mr. JR. So yeah, so Trump was. Trump was held civilly liable for grape, sir, and that's a fact.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Melissa, thank you for the $20 on Venmo, because now we have $110 to be sued for. W Melissa in the comment section for the $20 on Venmo, and Ann with a $5 on PayPal. Ann saying, gotta pay your lawyers. Thank you so much for the love, Ann and Melissa. Thank you so much.
Show me where he
Let's go. Let's go. Carla with the $10 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Carla. W Carla in the chat.
So when you said
holy
that's the
shit, you guys are going
way
crazy.
out,
Marlissa with the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Marlissa. Thank you so much. Holy shit, guys. Aaron with the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Holy shit, y'all.
Yeah,
what
bullshit.
the fuck is going on?
Let's see
what
it.
the fuck? See what?
Let's see it. Let's see the Venmo. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So where was he in? Where was he for grape? As you're putting this out to the public with false information.
Wait, I just showed you the Venmo.
Misinformation. Show me that. Show me where your misinformation is actually true. Show me that.
Okay, yeah. So just to clarify, hey
all
Jay.
the jurors did not agree with it.
Hey, so just to clarify here real quick. So Trump was upheld as being like guilty of sexual abuse, which we colloquially define as grape. So is the case that New York State law? Hey,
the jurors said that they did not agree that Carol was grape at all. Because no evidence.
Yeah, because they were disagreeing.
Yeah.
Can I finish, Alyssa? I appreciate you for the $4.20 on PayPal.
Buddy. Definition of character, buddy. You got.
Okay, so under New York State law, grape was defined as a male member entering into the female member without consent. However, I don't base my definition of grape.
Never was. Never was. Never was.
Catherine with a $15 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Catherine. Let's get a W, Catherine, in the chat for the $15 on Venmo. And Joe with the $20 on PayPal. Let's go. Joe with the $20. Holy shit, W, Catherine. And W, Joe. And Alexia with the $5 on Venmo. Thank you for the love, guys. Y'all are showing me so much love. I'm so grateful for it. I really fucking appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. And Sherry with a $10 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Sherry. Massive W, Sherry, in the chat. I really appreciate you for that. Sorry, Shelly. W, Shelly in the chat. But Mr. JR. So yes, the jury did knock off that they didn't believe that there is sufficient evidence to show that E. Jean Carroll had been raped. Because at the time, New York state law, it was defined as the male member entering into the female member without consent, which they didn't have sufficient reason to believe for the reason that she testified in court that she didn't know if it was the male member or his fingers or both. But real quick, Angie with the $20 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much, Angie. Let's get it some W. Angie's in the chat for the $20 on PayPal.
Bro.
Massive W, Angie, in the chat. Then it is true that I personally define grape as any part of a man entering into any part of a woman without consent, making Trump a grapist, sir. Do you disagree with that? And wondering, thank you for the money gun. But go ahead and respond, Mr. J. Let's get some W Angie's for the $20 on PayPal. Y'all are showing so much love right now. Joe with another $15 on Venmo. Oh my God. Let's get some W Joes in that chat for the $15 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much, Joe. Massive W Joes. Continue.
Dean, did you just see your president I can't remember where he was, but lined up. It went white woman, another white woman, a black girl who was a liberal or a Democrat. She wanted.
How come you call? How come you call?
Hero. Did you see Biden just pass her up? He went to talk. She went to talk. He just didn't even care about her. Yeah, that's the guy, because his mentor, KKK member, lifelong. And then he found out, it was wrong 20 years later. Every liberal like you forgot about it, So forgive and forget, right? And then you say something about the Trump thing where, oh, well, I don't care about any woman, grab woman by the... That was locker banter. That was all taken out of context. Like, you've never said anything to your friends, like, look at that girl's butt right there, or something like that? You've never said anything like that?
Oh my God, there's so much to unpack here. So first of all,
hit us with the few words that you learned today on your lexicon, into your lexicon, to sound a little bit more intelligent for the fucking TikTok community. Do
you mind if I speak here? Can you control yourself, or do I have to put you on mute?
Oh, your liberal power.
No, I just want to respond to what you're saying. So first of all, yeah, calling the white women women and calling the black woman a girl is fucking crazy. But he did hug and talk to her on the way in. I thought I should clarify that. And then additionally here, when we're referencing his mentor being a former KKK member, so yeah, he actually was in the Triple K, and then left the Triple K and became one of the most monumental civil rights activists, of the last century. So I think that is quite formidable, and it shows a lot of progress societally speaking. Jay, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Then also here, when we're referencing Trump's quote-unquote locker room talk of him saying that he likes to unconsensually grab women by the P word, no, this is not something that I've done, and this is also something that we shouldn't normalize because it only puts women at a greater risk to very shitty and scary men such as yourself.
Who are you?
Arthur, I appreciate you for the $10 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Arthur. Let's get a W Arthur in that chat. Massive W Arthur, thank you for the $10. And that's not locker room talk. It's gross, it's disgusting, and it's deplorable, quite frankly. And Elizabeth, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I don't think that we should be normalizing such speech, because we know what happens when we do. When John with the $50 on Venmo, yo! Let's get a massive W, John, for the $50 on Venmo. J-O-N, ladies and gentlemen, I want to see at least 100 WJO wins in the comment section for the $50 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Massive W, Johns. But then, the one last point that I did want to make here is that this was a massive fucking pivot. You came up here and you told me that I was defaming Trump's character by calling him a rapist, when in all actuality he was held civilly liable for sexual abuse. Well, guess what the fuck, Jay? Sexual abuse is grape. The jury found him guilty of inserting himself into a woman without her consent. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. It just wasn't clarified if it was specifically his male member or his fingers, when New York state law at the time specifically upheld grape to be the male member entering into the female member without consent. But that law changed in 2023, and colloquially speaking, we don't define grape off of the law, we define it otherwise. Oh, I mispronounced a word, so now you're gonna hone in on it instead of refuting the contents of my position. Get fucking dunked on.
You got 360 dunked on, pussy. That's all you did. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Yeah, he did. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're sitting there saying the worst shit about Trump. It's amazing. It's amazing to me.
Ew, that was gross. Did anyone else like that? Yeah.
The disdain for a human being is crazy.
Brother,
look at you. You're so cool, bro. Look at you.
That was just
look at you, bro.
That was just gross. That was just ew, brother.
Yeah, look at you, bro. You're cool.
Real quick, yo, Kaylee, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Kaylee says here's $5 for your mental health. The other guy seems draining and uneducated. It's not the idea that he seems like that. He is. And yo, Arabelle with a $10 on Venmo, and Joe with a $15 on PayPal. Y'all are showing so much love right now. It is incredible. Thank you so much, everyone. Y'all are actually going off right now. Holy shit. Massive W, Joe, and W, Arabelle. I really appreciate y'all for the love that you guys are showing. But hey, Mr. JR, real quick, how do you define grape?
Being charged with grace.
Joshua with the $20 on Venmo and Alexa with the $5 on Venmo. W Joshua and W Alexa in the chat for the $20 and the $5 on Venmo. Continue.
So if I did that, right? So you're saying that if a woman came forth and said that I raped whatever, and then we were in a trial and it, you know,
No, man, I asked you to
it.
define grape.
So what? Well, entering a person, I don't think it should be woman or it could be both, you know, man or woman. Without
Cam, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Cam
So
says you
you're
moved through
telling
these
me
tragedies with
that
such
he
grace. Thank you,
entered
Cam.
her without consent, but wasn't charged with that.
Well, because grape under New York state law, as I already clarified, was particularly the male member.
Yeah, I heard your bullshit
entering
about the election stuff with New York state law. You probably don't even live in New York.
Oh, yeah, I don't live in New York, but I could go online and read their law.
Yeah, no, crap.
So, Jay, I'm going to try to clarify.
Guilty for it?
I'm going to try to clarify this once again. The jury didn't convict him of grape because grape was defined as a male member entering into the female member when she testified that she didn't know if it was just the hands or the male member or both. They didn't have sufficient reason to believe that his male member entered into her because that's what she testified to. She said, I didn't know if it was the hands, the member, or both. But like, regardless of if it was the hands or the member or both, that's grape. Right? Because that's how we colloquially define the term. And, you know, in 2023, 1 year after that court case ended, New York state law updated their legislation to reflect the same thing. Joe with a $10 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love, Joe. Let's get another W Joe in the comment section for the $10 on PayPal.
Why isn't Trump in jail, though?
Because the statute of limitations had passed to pursue criminal litigation.
No, but he was convicted of entering her without her consent. That's great.
Civilly speaking.
By your definition.
Yo, Lindsay with the $20 on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Lindsay. Thank you so much. Massive W, Lindsay, in the chat for the $20 on Venmo. That is so kind of you. Thank you so much for the love, Lindsay. Let's get a W, Lindsay, in that chat for the $20 on Venmo. Y'all are showing an insane amount of love right now, and it's pissing JR the fuck off. So yeah, he wasn't sentenced to jail time because civil courts can't yield criminal convictions. It's something only criminal courts could do. And they couldn't pursue litigation within the criminal court because the statute of limitation to pursue criminal litigation had passed. Oh, he's silent now. He's gagged. Oh, he's gagged, ladies and gentlemen. Passport, I appreciate you for that.
This is the same moron that's okay with U.S. missiles being launched into Russia.
Are you pivoting? Okay, so JR, did you actually want to respond to like the sustenance insofar as me not defaming Trump when I call him a grapist, but rather just conveying the facts?
Well, a jury didn't convict him of grape,
so he was held civilly liable for it, sir.
Of a lesser SA.
Bro, chat, should we just kick him? Like he is just running laps.
Hey, Motley Crue, go fuck yourself. How about that?
What?
Go fuck yourself. Yeah. You little 19-year-old bitch.
Oh, you're emotional.
You're a fucking pussy. That's what you are.
And you're why men commit 95% of violent crimes.
Oh, yeah, and you're the guy who's like, I'm a fucking ally to the women. You're a fucking beta, you pussy. You're what's wrong with America.
Are you saying that in order to be an alpha male, it's necessary that you don't conserve?
Yeah, you're a bitch, bro. You've been a beta your whole life. Your whole life. Probably single mother raised, too.
Joshua, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Joshua. Thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo.
Go upstairs and tell your father he raised a really cool girl.
I supported my mom. I started working at 13 developing software to support her because she was...
Shut up. Nobody cared. Sure you did.
I mean, you're saying that I was raised by a single mother.
You're a beta.
I literally supported her until she lost custody of me because we got into a car crash.
Sure you did. 13 years old, this guy was out here making the bank.
I coded software, hacks for Roblox.
Sure you did. Okay.
But well, like one other point here that I wanted to touch on. Sean, thank you for the $3 on Venmo.
All right, beta.
I just want to clarify here. So you're saying
Come on, beta.
So you're saying that I'm a beta male because I actually care about half of our population?
No, you're a beta just because you're a beta, bro.
For what reason?
Yeah, probably. You're just a beta, dude.
Like
could
JR,
tell.
like when we're referencing like physicalities of what is concerned as the modern alpha male, things like like having big muscles or being conventionally attractive. I've worked out for years and I have a sharp jawline, so I know that it can't be concerning those factors of myself. So then I continue to think here, why am I being considered a beta? Well, at the end of the day, I think you consider me a beta because I don't concern my self-interests, I'm not egotistical, and I'm not narcissistic. And I actually care about the wants, needs, and desires of other people apart from myself. And I'm pretty sure that this modern alpha male movement is just simply like upbolstering and uplifting like really shitty men, little boys in my mind, that don't have any concern for anyone outside of themselves, right? Are self-centered and narcissistic by nature, and are blatantly misogynistic and use harmful rhetoric. Like you're basic. Sorry, I got a call there. Essentially what you're saying here is if you're not a piece of shit, you're a beta male. No, you're the fucking beta. You're the little boy. You're the little boy. You're the little boy, Jay. How does that make you feel? Oh, if you can control your emotions and you act off of reason, you're a beta male. Oh, really? Really, Jay? Is that all you got? Oh, if you're better than me, you're a beta male. If you're not why men commit 95% of violent crimes, you're a beta male. If you give a shit about what other people think, want, and desire, you're a beta male. If you care about logic, fact, and reason, you're a beta male. If you critically think, you're a beta male.
Bro.
Little boy.
You are so lucky that this app even exists. You'd be at some coffee shop just spewing your bullshit.
Lindsay, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Lindsay says, will you read this for Jay? Quote unquote, let me know when men are allowed near morgues. Ah, yeah. You're oh my God. Beautiful, Lindsay. You're exactly why men aren't allowed to work in morgues. Mackenzie, thank you for the $6.66 on Venmo. They say alphas don't say they are alphas. Keep doing what they do. I appreciate you for the love, Mackenzie.
Too.
Sean, thank you for the $3 on Venmo. Sean says he reminds me of Tanner, if you remember him. I do remember Tanner, and yeah, that makes sense. Joshua with the $10 on Venmo, saying from the Motley Crew. I appreciate you for the $10. Shut up. I'm still reading my dono, sir. I'm still reading my dono, sir. I'm still reading my dono, sir. I'm still reading my dono, sir.
I'm different. I got a wallet with a chain on it. I'm cool.
Are
bro.
you jealous?
No.
Yeah.
Dude, you better thank the stars that this stupid app exists. You be at some coffee shop spewing your bullshit with your laptop without a job. People wake up at 4:30 in the morning and have 10 hours to actual work. Not what you do. You're what's wrong with America.
Sarah, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Sarah says, please tell Jay he shouldn't be allowed near women. And that is true. In my ideal society, you would be separated. Thank you for the marvelous.
Of course.
Hey, real quick, Jay. So before I started
Rainbow
TikTok,
Warriors would be presidential electees in your little fan. Is there candy and rides in the fantasy land you live in?
What do you mean by Rainbow Warriors?
You obviously are an ally to
the LGBTQ plus community. So real quick, don't get yourself banned. The only word that you could use to reference the community is the word lesbian. You can't say GAY, homosexual, or anything else. Just use the word
I said Rainbow Warriors. I didn't say anything. And that's how...
Do you think it's wrong to be a lesbian?
I didn't say anything about that. I didn't say it was wrong.
Joe, thank you for the $50 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love, Joe. Let's get at least 50 W Joes in the comment section. Shut up. Let's get at least 50 W Joes in the comment section. Literally, shut up. Let's get 50. Shut up. Let's get. I gotta put the baby on mute because I'm reading off my donos. Joe with the $50 on PayPal. Let's get at least 50 W Joes. Thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Teresa with the $5 on Venmo. Aaliyah with the $2 on Venmo, and Emily with a $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you guys. But hey, Mr. JR, I just think it's incredibly embarrassing for you to completely pivot away from the fact that I cooked you and showed you to be a true little beta male and just exposed this modern alpha male movement to be bullshit. It's just, you know, these self-centered narcissistic dudes that want to feel better about their insecurities, so then they just perpetuate it onto the women around them by calling themselves alpha and calling any man who disagrees with their blatant misogyny betas. Be so fucking for real. But then you pivot pivoted to this by referencing the LGBTQ plus community in a derogatory way, yeah, go ahead and defend that position, buddy. Tell me exactly why it's wrong to be a lesbian. I will cook you today, would have cooked you yesterday, and I'll cook you tomorrow if you come back. So go ahead and give me the argument, and I will intellectually and analytically tear you to shreds, bits and pieces, sir. Go ahead and give me the argument.
But what did I say about I just said Rainbow Warriors. I didn't say.
Yeah, you're referencing the LGBTQ plus community in a derogatory way, furthering the systemic marginalization imposed upon them. People like you truly do not deserve positions of power to perpetuate such systemic issues.
I mean, didn't your own TikTok person sketch basically confirm that stuff is a delusional mental thing?
A delusional mental thing. So first of all, don't try to use genuine struggles of a man such as Sketch to try to perpetuate your anti-LGBTQ plus narrative.
So how he used
So first of all, there is absolutely nothing wrong with what he did. He had a OF. There is absolutely nothing wrong with what he did. Specifically, the reason why he talked downly upon it wasn't because he was same-gendered. It was because he was struggling with addiction and he was in a place where he needed money, and he recognized that that isn't particularly what he should have done in accordance with his own desires, not particularly because there's anything wrong with same-gendered intercourse or anything wrong with posting it on OnlyFans.
Okay, if that was true, right? If that was true, then the whole time he was...
And if Sketch thinks it's wrong to be JAY, guess what the fuck? I disagree with Sketch. I'll cook Sketch, but he doesn't. You're just virtue signaling. You're lying.
If that was true, and the whole time he was famous, he never once went back to LGBTQ, whatever, saying I'm an ally, never. But when it all comes out, now it's, I had this addiction problem and whatever. He hid that in the closet like he was embarrassed of it.
Because people like you exist.
Oh my God. Yeah, the big bad wolf.
Damn straight. At least you know it. Anything else, buddy?
Yeah, nice one on the sketch, though. Nice one.
Yo, holy shit, Kimberly with the $20 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much with the love. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Let's get some W Kimberly's in that chat. Thank you so much. Bryn with the $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Bryn. And Kate with the $3 on Venmo. Kate here says, for giving me faith in the future of this country. I'm raising two quote-unquote betas myself. I hope they grew up to be critical thinkers and care about what actually making this world better too. I appreciate you for the love. And Angela with the $30 on Venmo for quote-unquote wiping the floor with this misogynistic pig. Oh, I'm not done yet, Angela. The floor isn't sparkly clean yet, but I appreciate you for the love. Lindsay, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Massive W, Lindsay, for the $10 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Lindsay. And Alexa with the $5 on Venmo. You guys are going off right now. Thank you guys so much for the love.
How am I
seriously so appreciated. Thank you guys so much for the love. Yeah, because you uphold and you booster this modern alpha male thing. You say I'm a beta male. You say I'm a piece of shit. You say I'd be in a coffee place with no job sipping it because I critically think, I engage in logical discourse, and I don't think that the women around me are half of my value. No, the issue is you're insecure. You lack self-worth. You don't know what to do with it because you don't know how to process your emotions. So you fucking cope and project your insecurities onto the women around you, calling yourself superior so relatively you view them as inferior to make yourself feel better, and you call yourself an alpha male for that? You call yourself an alpha male for that? And then on top of that, you turn around and you call me a beta male because I'm calling you out for your bullshit, old man.
Where's your psychology degree from? You're good, bro. Where is it from?
Yeah, I don't need a psychology degree to cook misogynists. I don't need a psychology degree to cook you.
Oh, you
I don't need a psychology degree to call you out on your bullshit. I don't need a psychology degree to explain to you exactly why you are a misogynist. I don't need a psychology degree to see the hypocrisy in calling me a beta male because I actually care about what other people think. I don't need a psychology degree to cook you on live in front of 3,000 people.
Was I wrong?
Beautiful.
Was I wrong? Hold on. Was I wrong? If TikTok and all these apps didn't exist, wouldn't you be at a coffee shop spewing your bullshit? Where would you be? Where would you be?
Before I was a creator on TikTok, I co-owned a dog food production company, as well as I ran a media company designing software and websites for others. In high school, I won 2 international awards through FBLA NLC.
You did?
In Chicago and in Georgia.
I got my notebook.
Thinking business design as well as website design.
I got my notebook.
I'd be places.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Look up Dean Withers FBLA. Go to images.
Dean Withers, where are these companies?
You'll see a picture of me with a fucking plaque in my hand.
Yeah,
Come on. Let's be real here.
What's the name of that company? 13-year-old software developer?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you the name of the dog food company. Fuck no. Fuck no, I'm not going to tell you the name of that.
What is it?
I'm not going to tell you. Dude, I'm not going to tell you the name of that company.
You're not? Oh, because you're bullshit. Dude, you're so bullshit.
Oh, no, it's not bullshit. I just don't want you and all the other MAGA cults to go harass people that I care about.
Here we go. Come on,
real quick, Rebel, thank you so much for the $5. Shut up.
No, wait.
Rebel, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Whitney with the $2 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love. Crash with the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Crash. Thank you. I really appreciate you for the $20 on Venmo, Crash. See, we just got to mute him. We got to cut his mic so I can thank all these donors that are really supporting me right now. I appreciate you guys so much for the love. Thank you all. I'm not giving you the company name. I'm not giving you
that company's name.
No, I told you insofar as like
because you're so full of shit that you just spew bullshit to these people and they soak it up.
Oh, no, it's not me being full of shit. It's that I don't want to give the
company's name. Dog food. Let me do. What is it?
Nancy, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Nancy. W Nancy in the chat.
Who got dunked on?
I'm not telling you the name. Wait, Mr. J. I'm not telling you the name of the company because I don't want you and the other MAGA cultists in chat to go harass the current owners, the current workers. Like they have like their business like location insofar as the address listed on the website. They also have like their company phone listed on the website. Like I'm not going to give y'all access to that information. But insofar as the claims made that you can verify because they're like international companies, feel free to look up Dean Withers FBLA and LC and see a picture of me with a plat in my hand. But regardless, I think that this is all fucking super irrelevant because the fact of the matter is TikTok does exist and I'm so happy that it does. So 3.1 thousand people can watch me absolutely cook you right now. How does it feel to get cooked by a man half your age? How does it feel to be cooked by a 19-year-old that you said if TikTok wasn't around would be out of a job? Are you saying that you could get cooked by a man that doesn't have the intellect to go to college or get a job in the first place? What does that tell us about you, sir? Really? Like when you try to insult me, demean my character, demean my intelligence, demean my abilities, this just further reflects back onto you because this guy who has these demeaned abilities is cooking the shit out of you. Maybe you should stop demeaning my abilities and rather recognize them for what they are because if inevitably that'd at least make you look better. But you're like, oh, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid, Dean is this and that, Dean doesn't have abilities, Dean so this and but he's cooking you? What does it say about you?
Wait. Oh, say who's pivoting now? I just need to know that dog food name.
I'm not giving you
company. Oh, who's pivoting now?
No one.
Oh, look around, them eyes, bro. It's not gonna help you over there. Come on, you had two companies by the age of 19 that were very, very successful. Okay, dog food company. I just need to research the BS that you're spewing to these people. You throw in a few educated words and all these libtards just soak it all.
Oh my God, slurring on live, bro. We're gonna go and kick him. All right. We're going to move on to our next guest here. I apologize for his use of slurs. And Brianka, thank you so much for the hand arts. Ilana, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. And Nancy, thank you for the $10 on Venmo saying you go. I really appreciate you, Nancy. Let's get a W Nancy and a W Ilana. Thank you guys so much for the love. And Lucida with the $20 on Venmo. Lucida says, drown the MAGA cultist, Dean. I really appreciate you for your love on Venmo. Thank you so much for the $20. And W Lucida in the chat. Y'all are literally showing an insane level of love right now. This is fucking crazy. Thank y'all so much for the love. Massive W. Dean, you got to do something about the mic peaking. I'm just going to keep the mic a little bit further away from my face. I'm so sorry. I'm glad that we could kind of cook that emotional mess right before he slurred, so we kicked him. So, yeah, we're going to move on to our next guest. If you're voting for Trump, let me know by hopping in the queue or spamming MAGA in the chat. Also, y'all make sure to hit that follow button if you haven't already. Yeah, guys, so as soon as election season is over, I'm going to start running a whole lot more like feminist related lives so we could cook individuals such as that, right, on misogyny every single day. But we're going to move on to our next guest. So everyone just give us a moment to get our next guest up in the box, y'all. So everyone just be patient, bear with us while we do. Oh man, I can't wait, guys. That's going to be a fun day. All right, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat so we can load you up here. Brianka, thank you for that, a mustache. Hey, what's going on, Donovan? How old are you? Terrible background noise, so unfortunately we're going to move on. We got Gary loading in. Everyone give us a moment. What's up, Gary? How old are you?
I'm 21.
21. Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Why so?
I think his policies are better than Biden's, personally.
Can you name one policy that Trump influenced to get passed that benefited the middle class more so than rich people?
He passed the tax cuts that were really helped me, actually.
Yeah, so the tax cuts, 83% of those went to the top 1%, and that footed a bill of $2.5 trillion on the American taxpayer, and it only led to an average annual GDP increase of 0.02%. Not to mention that we have some normative evaluations from the Tax Policy Center that show over the 10-year lifespan of his tax cuts that could essentially decrease the after-tax income of the middle class while increasing it for the top 1%. So taking money from poor people and giving it to the rich, and charging everyone $2.5 trillion through debt-related spending really does a lot.
Hey, do you think grape is sexy, by the way? Do you think grape is sexy?
No, I don't. I know a lot
so
of men do that.
Aaron Jane Carroll thinks that's actually thinks that actually. So you think that
this is gonna be fun?
Yeah.
So I'm willing to bet you. Let's see here. Do you want to bet $250 on that claim? Let's make a wager.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper. Look it up. CNN.
Yeah, Gary. I'm willing to wager you because I think that's wrong. She didn't say that.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She literally said it. Yes, she did. On Anderson Cooper. Yes, she did.
Then would you like to put your money where your mouth is and bet me money?
E. Jean Carroll, literally on CNN, and with Anderson Cooper said, "I think rape is sexy." That's what she said.
So put your money where your mouth is. How much do you?
I'm not betting you on that crap.
Why not?
Because she said that. She literally said, "I think rape is sexy." On
say grape.
Cooper.
Say grape.
Okay, sorry, grape. Great, you're right. You're right. Grape.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, she didn't say that she thinks grape is sexy. What she particularly said is that other people think grape is sexy, which is true, and then went on to describe how it's not sexy, it's not sexual, and it's abusive by nature. But I'm willing to bet you money that you're wrong because,
And then he ended the interview right there, and then he literally had to go away from the interview. So
okay, so someone that was interviewing E. Jean Carroll abruptly ended an interview, and this shows that she isn't a victim of grape.
Hey, Dean, did you also know that E. Jean Carroll she also called her cat a disease after her a vagina? Did you know that too?
Okay,
she's insane.
So a woman names a cat an eccentric name, and therefore we shouldn't care if she gets graped.
She didn't get graped.
Okay, so
there was it's a kangaroo court. It's a kangaroo court. Literally,
so do you typically accept
the judge paid her daughter $80 million to get Trump, dude. It's
the
a
judge
kangaroo
paid
court.
his daughter $80 million?
Yeah, $80 million. Judge Alderon, I think his name is. He paid his daughter $80 million
for what?
To go get Trump.
How?
Look it up. It's oh god. I don't think. Hold on, let me.
Okay, can you give me evidence of this? What fucking judge has $80 million? I'm so sorry. What?
He's also paid by the DOJ.
1 second, Gary. What judge has $80 million? A judge? $80 million?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me evidence. I'm gonna need some evidence for this claim. Go ahead. Go on pause. Find the evidence. Come back when you got it. Okay. Guys, in the meantime, y'all, make sure that we're double tapping on that phone screen, sharing out that live with a couple friends here. You know, the MAGA cultists will do whatever they can to deny grape. It's really disheartening to see. Yes, let's go ahead and say that this woman who didn't just accuse him of raping her, but then proved it.
How about you stop with your ad hominems, dude?
What? They're saying, let's go ahead and look at this woman who didn't just accuse a man of raping her, but then proved it in court. A liar. What do you think this tells victims? This tells victims that no matter what I do, no matter what I say, even if I prove it in a court of law, I will still be looked at as a liar by the men around me. And you think this doesn't perpetuate grape culture? You think that this doesn't perpetuate systemic misogyny and the patriarchy? Think that this doesn't normalize these actions? Yeah, all right, Gary. Go find that evidence for me. Quit yapping. Start tapping away on that phone screen to find me the source.
Here.
All right, buddy. All right. Yeah, all right, Gary.
$3 million.
Okay, I asked you
$92 million.
for a source.
New York Post.
New York Post. So what specifically do you want me to look up to find this source? Okay, we're just New York. Also, I can't hear you when you're on pause. New York Post, Judge E. Jean Carroll, $1 million. So let's go ahead and read this together. Are you referencing?
Go for it.
Okay, so you said there's a $92 million figure. So that is what Trump posted as a bond. And then you're referencing an $83 million figure. So this is what the jury ordered him to pay Jean Carroll. I'm not finding anything on here that would hint at money that the judge paid to his daughter to go after Trump. I'm looking at money that was ordered to be paid by Trump to Jean Carroll, as well as the money that Trump had to post for his bond. But you said there was money that the judge paid his daughter.
Gotta stop with your ad hominems, dude. Seriously, stop calling us a cult. Seriously, stop. Yeah.
I'm not calling you a cultist as an ad hominem. I'm calling you a cultist because you contort and you change reality to fit your narrative and you run. Let's get some runner emojis in that chat, I guess. Stefan, all right, guys. We're going to go and load up our next guest. If you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. He just ran, apparently. Todd sends $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you for the love, Todd. Everyone, please, at once, W-Tots. Todd says, keep cooking, Dean. Mr. Todd, I appreciate you. Stefan with a $1 on Venmo saying, see if you could get him to bet. I tried, Stefan, but I appreciate you for that $1. We're going to go ahead and load up our next guest here. If you're in the guest request, make sure you're MAGA. Let's go to see what Billy Joe 7 has to say. And if you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in that bio. Also, chat, Parker should be live literally anytime. So yeah, that's fun. Loading up our next guest here, y'all. Loading up our next guest. His wife called him away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is what occurred. We're going to move on to our next guest here. So everyone just give us a moment while we do. Loading in, moving on. Let's go and get Blaze up in here. Everyone just be patient. Yo, Chandra, thank you for the $7 on Venmo. I will read your message out here in a bit, but thank you, Sandra, for the $7. What's up, Blaze? How old are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I sure can. How old are you?
I'm 36.
36. Awesome. Are you voting for Trump?
I am.
Why so?
Well, I think because my life was better. Several years ago, I had more money in my pocket for groceries. I had more money in my pocket for gas. I didn't feel like there was this much division in our country.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like a lot of these types of podcasts are intended to cause much more division.
Okay.
Instead of adopting or trying to bring our country together,
I mean, if you just want to say that we should all be complacent with having a rapist in the White House, go for it. But my intention of running this live is to get people to engage in critical thought and have rational.
Okay, so let me ask you something then about E. Jean Carroll. Then,
do you mind if I would like to respond to your points insofar as why you're voting for Trump first, though? So you said that the reason that you're voting for Trump is because you had more money in your pocket and the groceries and the groceries cost less. So can you explain to me how Biden caused inflation? Because as far as I'm concerned, Biden didn't cause inflation, and the inflation that we saw was global. It was a result of the pandemic, and in fact, the U.S. had one of the quickest rebounds from it.
As far as I'm concerned, you were probably 13 years old when Trump was in there, so you wouldn't know how much groceries were at that time.
They cost less. They cost less. I'm agreeing with you on that point, but I'm saying that the reason they cost more now isn't because of Biden.
Well, then, I don't really give a shit how much, what it causes it right now. Shit's bad right now.
Yeah, but if you can't show me how Trump would cause it, if you can't show me how Trump caused it to be better while he was president, or how Biden caused it to be worse while he is currently, well, then you wouldn't have any confidence when you cast your vote in November for Trump that he would make things better, right? You have to prove causation in order to have confidence that when you cast your vote, he's going to make it better again. Because if it is the case that he didn't cause it to be better, and it is the case that Biden didn't cause it to be worse, well, then this would make no negligible difference as the state of the economy was caused by anything but them. So voting Trump back into office wouldn't make it better again. It's called the correlation causation fallacy.
Okay. Can I ask you, how do you think most voters are going to decide or make their choice in November? Are they going to sit here and look up policies all day like you do? Or let's be honest, most voters are going to be uneducated, or they're watching TikToks, whatever side they're watching,
Yeah, so I think that most voters are more so going to concern their character. They're going to concern the way that they present themselves, and they're going to concern how they did under their respective terms. But I see this as a complete straw man to the argument here, because if you can't demonstrate how Biden caused you to be worse position economically speaking, then this would provide you no reason not to vote for him in the upcoming election.
I have no reason to vote for him.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, sure we do. So Biden isn't a proven rapist. Biden isn't a proven fraudster. Biden isn't an election denier. Biden didn't shift the American interest from intellect, critical thinking, and good reasoned beliefs to fringe conspiracy theory. Biden didn't instill virtues of distrust in our civil and electoral processes and tens of millions of American citizens by telling them that the election was rigged with no sufficient evidence, and this being disproven in 60 courts of law, right? Biden didn't say that he dated a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. Biden didn't say that the only thing he has in common with his daughter is sex when she said real estate and golf. Biden didn't, say that his daughter was voluptuous, hinting at her being sexually attractive. Biden didn't agree with Howard Stern on Sirius XM that his daughter's a piece of ass. Biden didn't walk into the changing rooms of naked teen girls and Miss Teen USA because he quote unquote owns a place. Biden has some of the most monumental legislation in modern U.S. history, that being the CHIPS Act, the CHIPS and Science Act, the PACT Act, the Infrastructure Bill, or the Inflation Reduction Act. Meanwhile, Trump hasn't passed any legislation that benefited the middle class more so than the top 1%. There is tons of good reason to vote for Biden over Trump.
Okay.
And also, Ian, I really appreciate you for that raid. Let's get some massive WEans in that chat. Hope you're doing well, and I still have to watch your debate with RC, but let's get some WEans down below.
So I've watched several of these videos, and shame on me because I think anybody who can see right through this, it's causing so much division. You guys are condescending towards people. You discount people's actual experiences in life.
Wait, you're saying that E. Jean Carroll is a liar. That is you discounting a victim of rape that proved it in court. And this is virtue signaling, and this is tone policing, and this is a concession that you can't have real discourse.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you a question about E. Jean Carroll, because that is your powerhouse move. Why did she send an email to her friend asking to let's get together to scheme? It's our patriotic duty. Why was a Law and Order episode very similar to what her claim was?
Okay, hey, I want to talk about the email. I've never heard about this. What are you talking about?
Look it up. It's out there.
Look what up?
Look up the email that she said. They brought it. Actually, it was, didn't you watch? Don't you know what happened in the trial? It was in the trial.
So the email, tell me more about it.
They questioned E. Jean Carroll about it, and she just happened to say it's just a coincidence.
So when was this email sent?
I don't know.
Who was it sent to?
One of her friends.
And what was it? Which friend?
I don't know. I don't keep track of her friends.
And what was the context of the email?
Look it up.
Can you give me any evidence of this email existing?
It's all over the internet. It was at the trial.
Okay, so I mean, so you understand that when you ask me how do I feel about this thing that you can't give me any information about, you have no clue what it fucking entails. I have no clue what it fucking entails because you can't give me more information about it. But particularly about the Law and Order episode, so I mean the particular place where she got raped in is like a massive chain retail store, and especially was in the 90s. And I think that a lot of women get raped in these retail stores, and I don't think because there's a similar plot line of a woman getting raped in a show that we should discount her real, true lived experiences. I mean, what about all the other women that have been raped in that same retail store across the nation over the course of the last 70 years? Should we discount their experiences too?
I think by giving attention to those who are using this type of platform in a false way is discounting the other true victims.
Right, but how do you know it's false? That's what I'm saying. You're victim blaming without any sufficient reason. Can you provide me with...
And you're believing it without any sufficient reason either.
Name one piece of evidence provided in the court of law.
What?
Name one piece of evidence provided by E. Jean Carroll as well as her lawyers to support the idea that she was raped by Donald Trump. Name one piece of evidence that they submitted to the court.
You're probably going to bring up the dress.
The dress wasn't submitted as evidence in court because he wouldn't provide his DNA. So how can you sit here and tell me that she was lying when you don't know anything about the case? You even just try to virtue signal and harp on me not knowing anything about it when you can't even name one piece of evidence proponent in the court of law.
I don't really give a shit. I think it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Common sense, that's what you all say, but this is just you valuing your feelings more than facts, because when you engage in facts, you're voting for Biden and you stop voting for Trump.
Ian, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You're 19, right?
19 years of age.
Okay. you know, and I applaud you for what you're doing. I applaud you for, you know, debating. I wouldn't say it's fair debating. There are typically rules in debate, but that's okay. You'll learn eventually, and that you can only get better. But if you ever would like to get a real job, it's not going to be this way.
Is this not so this isn't a real job?
No.
So why is this not a real job?
It's not. You
Wait, real
cannot
quick,
sit
Shirley,
behind
I
that
appreciate
screen.
you for the 1 second. Shirley, I appreciate you for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Shirley. Shirley says, so sad seeing a fellow woman be a grape apologist. Couldn't agree more. Nicole with the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, for keeping me sane and defending women. I appreciate you, Nicole. And Farah, thank you for the $3 on Venmo for quote unquote standing up for us. I appreciate you, Shirley, Nicole, and Farah. Let's go to get some W's for them in the chat. So yeah, why particularly do you not think this is a real job?
Because it's not giving you any real life experience, Dean. Like
Real life experience? What? So first of all, what kind of real life experience does being an IT professional give you?
Are you an IT professional? Is that
well, I mean, yes, but that's besides the point. I guess like the main point here is the particular idea that like my brother, for instance, is a coder and he sits in his room for 10 hours a day and just codes on his computer. So if you'd say that particularly if a job doesn't give you real life experience, then it isn't real. Well, would you call like all the IT professionals around the world like not real jobs?
No, Dean.
Okay,
No.
so then why particularly do you say I'm not working a real job? It just kind of sounds like you're jealous.
Oh, trust me. I am not jealous.
Yo, real quick. Yo, Aaliyah, I appreciate you for the $2 over Venmo for the quote-unquote real job. Aaliyah, thank you for the $2. And Farah, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo for saying your name right. I hope I didn't butcher that time. I appreciate you for the love, Farah. Thank you guys so much for the love on Venmo. Go ahead.
Okay, can I speak to abortion?
No, you said that this wasn't a real job. I want to know why. It just seems like you're being demeaning because you don't like me or what I say.
No, I'm trying to make you understand too that, you know, at the beginning of this conversation, debate, whatever you want to call it, I made the comment of this type of debate, if I hesitate calling it debate, is causing division. And if you stand strong with your platform for, you know, who you're supporting, I would think that you would have a different delivery.
So I think that MAGA cultists caused division. Like, I'm just up here saying that this guy that was held civilly liable for grape is a grapist. I'm up here saying that this guy who denied the 2020 election without sufficient reason is delusional. I'm speaking on the truth. I'm calling the shots as they are. And if you feel divided from the shots as they are, this just shows that you contort reality and you disregard facts. What I'm speaking on is the truth. What I'm speaking on is factual, and what I'm speaking on is reality. And the only way for you to feel divided from what I'm saying is for you to not be acquainted with reality, okay? And I don't think that we should maintain complacency with real issues either. No, voting a grapist into our Oval Office is a real issue. Voting Trump into the Oval Office with his track record against women is a real issue. Voting this man who denied the election and serves as a threat to our democracy that is platformed Agenda 47 and lies about not being behind Project 2025 is a real issue. And if you want me to be complacent for these reasons insofar as not causing division, well, I absolutely disagree with you, because quite frankly, I don't care if division is caused by incomplacency with real issues, because that's exactly what we need to be talking about. At the end of the day, we can't be complacent with issues. We need to talk about them and we need to overcome them. Right? And Margot, I appreciate you for the $10 on Venmo. Margot says this is better, quote unquote, real life experience in most jobs, and that's coming from a career in HR. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate you. Lorenzo with the $2 on PayPal for your real job. I love you. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. I appreciate you guys so much for the love. But go ahead.
So don't you think, you know, again...
Erica with the $20 on Venmo. I appreciate you. Erica here says you're chasing dreams. Thank you so much for the love, Erica. And RTP with a raid as well. Thank you so much, RTP. Massive W, Erica, in that chat. I'm so sorry. Did I cut you off? Go ahead and continue.
Oh, no. I mean... just from my own personal experience, professional experience, I would much rather talk to things that I would rather talk to ideas and execute on ideas than talk about people. And I feel like you gain a lot more respect that way. And I feel as all you are doing is trying to talk about people, and you take this how you want it. You get a lot further in life and you're a lot more successful if you execute, you have ideas, you don't talk about people. okay? So all you're trying to do is talk about whatever the fuck you've got in your scripted in front of you about Trump.
Blaze, who are you talking about right now? Are you talking about a person?
What? Talking about
right
you.
now, you're talking about me. You're talking about people. You're talking about a person.
I'm giving you advice. I'm giving you advice.
But it's just funny because it's like it's like antithetical to what you're saying. You're saying I'm doing something wrong by dogging on Trump, by dogging on me.
I could fucking dog on you in a second, but I'm
giving you advice. That being, don't be complacent with rapists and don't be apologetic towards them either. And don't deny the real lived experiences of victims. And when you are presented with facts, take them for what they are, given sufficient evidence, and don't appeal to fringe conspiracy theories to further perpetuate systemic misogyny just because it doesn't fit your narrative.
All right, are you done with your script?
Oh, am I done with my script? Yeah, what am I reading? I'm reading you. Are you the script?
I am reading you too. You are the fucking script of this younger generation that's fucking scary as hell.
Teresa, I appreciate you for the $20 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Teresa. Tommy with $1 on Venmo as well. Braden with a $5 on Venmo. Braden says, love you, Dean. Thanks for all that you do. I appreciate you so much. And Vaughn, thank you for the $5 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love. You guys are showing so much love right now. Thank you so much, Vaughn. Go ahead. I apologize for cutting you off. I just, got a couple of donations there and I felt like
No, that's fine. I think I was patient and quiet as I should be to allow you to speak.
Wait, you don't have to say that you should be patient and quiet.
I think it's just the respectful thing to do. That's why I did it.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Oh, you don't know what that's like though, do you?
I don't know what respect. Okay. So, wait, tone policing, really?
Do what?
Tone policing? Is that what we're doing?
I don't even know what you said.
No, that's something that Trump doesn't know. Hey, I have a question. You're a woman, and you think that this man will be able to effectively legislate for all 170 million American women and girls, given his track record?
I do.
Okay, let's talk about his track record. Said he dated a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. Okay. Said he likes to walk into the changing room of half-naked teens at Miss Teen USA.
Are you on repeat?
Am I on repeat? No, I'm telling you his track record.
Damn, I thought I hit repeat.
So Blaze, like what I'm saying here, he has a track record of blatant disrespect towards women, sexualization towards children, and violence towards women. And you're saying that this man, with his track record, will be able to effectively legislate, keeping your thoughts, feelings, and concerns in mind, when, historically speaking, all he has done is disregarded them.
That's the track record that the left has written for him.
Oh, wait, no, this is the track record that he wrote for himself. When I'm referencing him saying that he'll date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years, I'm referencing a clip of him saying that. When I'm referencing him boasting about walking into the changing rooms of teen girls at Miss Teen USA, this is something that he boasted about to Howard Stern on Sirius XM. We could also reference the leaked clip of him saying that he likes to unconsensually grab women by the P word, and we could reference the civil liability claim insofar as him raping a woman. No, this isn't a narrative of the left.
Showering with his daughter?
Oh, so this is coming from Ashley Biden's diary, which to this day is unverified, the contents of it at least.
She confirmed it was her diary.
Yeah, so the diary itself is confirmed, however, the contents of it are unverified. She said in her deposition...
She acknowledged that it was hers and that she was embarrassed by it.
So she acknowledged in her deposition to court in the court of law that there's been a lot of false allegations lobbed at her as well as the people that she cares about, as well as Project Veritas, the far right think tank that the diary was sold to before it was presented in court, has a track record of manipulating and editing documents insofar as pertaining to the opposing political party. So until we have verification in the sense that she herself verifies it, or we have a handwriting excerpt verified that the particular text on those pages are the same as, the handwriting on other pages that we know to be hers, like we have to hold to the claim that those contents are unverified.
So how can we confirm Trump is a rapist if no one was in the dressing room with them?
Because it was proven in court.
How? No DNA proof?
Yeah, that's a great question. But first of all, Michelle, thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Holy shit, Michelle. Yo, let's get 50 W Michelles in the chat for the $50 on Venmo. Michelle says, trying to keep educated MAGA, keep up the fight. I appreciate you for the love. Alex with a $5 on Venmo. I appreciate you so much. Rebecca with a $1 on Venmo. James with a $5 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Why is she trying to come across as the moral superior? I agree with you there, James. And Samuel with a $2 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Thank you, Samuel. And W Michelle once again in the chat for the love. But yeah, so Blaze, particularly speaking here,
it's ballsy.
Ballsy. Okay, so so ballsy. Particularly speaking here, it is the case that E. Jean Carroll tried to provide a dress that she claimed had Trump's DNA on it, and then Trump failed to provide his DNA to the court of law. Right? He just refused to for the first 2 years.
Well, he offered it, and then they said, "Oh, it's too late."
So the judge said that he was no longer accepting any new evidence from the defense or the prosecutioners, and then he tried to offer up his DNA. That's like going to a Chick-fil-A on Sunday and being surprised that they're refusing to serve you. Okay, but I have a question. Trump had so many good reasons to provide his DNA when the window to open or submit evidence was occurring. Such being, it would have proved his innocence. It would have saved him hundreds of millions of dollars in the defamation suits. Would have saved him the negative PR from being labeled as a rapist. It would have saved him 2 years of sitting in that courtroom and paying the legal fees. And that innocent conviction would have given him a lot of evidence to assume that the DNC was unfairly persecuting a political opponent, and that would have been the mouthpiece of his campaign, of his political campaign for this year. So many good reasons for him to provide his DNA, assuming his innocence. I want you to name one good reason for him not to provide his DNA, which he did, assuming his innocence.
Well, one, he's not required to in that case, and then two, because with his status, I would never provide my DNA unless I was legally required to.
Michael, I appreciate you for the $5 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Michael. I appreciate you. I also haven't read off the last couple PayPals, so I'm going to go through and do that now. But yeah, so I understand that you're saying that he wasn't legally required to, and I recognize that as being true. Thank you for the money gun. But it is a case that that's not a good reason for him not to provide his DNA. Like, I'm speaking particularly in reference and what would be conducive towards his goals. Like, him providing his DNA, assuming he's innocent, would have been conducive towards his goals because he would have not have had to experience the negative backlash PR-wise. He would have saved hundreds of millions of dollars, 2 years in court, etc. So what was one good reason, assuming that he was innocent, from not to provide his DNA apart from the idea that he just wasn't legally required to?
Oh, I just told you I would not give my DNA if I mean, giving your DNA, I wouldn't give my DNA. I'm pretty sure the king wouldn't give his DNA. Like, I would not. It was probably even cheaper for him to just go through with that shit than what could have happened after him handing out his DNA.
Well, I mean, if someone like claimed that I graped them and my sperm was on a dress, and 1 second, allow me to speak here, Ballsy.
No, because you're misinformation. He did not grape her. That if you claim that he raped her, then why doesn't it say that on your background? Why do you have just sexual abuser?
Because for TikTok reasons, the live would get taken down.
Exactly.
I wanted to put up grape, but the live would be taken down. But anyways, I am going to go ahead and continue what I was saying. So if, like, for instance, someone said that I graped them and they had, like, my sperm, my DNA on a dress, and I had, like, 2 buttons in front of me, the first button being, click this button to provide my DNA to prove my innocence, or click this second button to not prove my innocence, be found civilly liable, suffer from the negative PR, and pay millions of dollars, which button am I going to press? Assuming I'm innocent, I'm going to press the first button. I'm going to provide my DNA. Now, another hypothetical, assuming that I am guilty, that I actually did grape this woman, which button am I going to hit? The button to pay the millions of dollars, suffer the negative PR backlash, and lie to everyone saying it's misinformation.
Well,
End of story.
Okay, it's the end of your story, and that's fine. It wasn't a fairy tale, but we can move on because we are going to agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah, real quick, Melinda, thank you for the $10 on PayPal. I really appreciate you for the love. Wendy with the $2 on PayPal. Michael with the $5. Joseph with the $5 on PayPal. Von Tessie with the $5 on PayPal. And Shelly with the $5 on PayPal. Y'all are so nice. I appreciate you guys for the love.
I keep seeing this. What the hell does grape apologist mean? I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, it means that you're denying the lived experiences of a grape victim to uphold and perpetuate your narrative that this man behind me isn't the chosen one, or is the chosen one, and isn't a bad person. Okay. You're being apologetic and sympathetic towards a man that was held legally liable for grape just because you don't want to feel bad about voting for him, and you don't want him to seem like a bad guy. Like, for instance, Hitler apologists deny the Holocaust. That's a good example.
This is not even fucking close to the Holocaust. Don't even.
Wait, it's just another form of, like, how we use the term of reference, like, apologists. Like, and I just give you.
So is that like a soft language, a euphemism, or whatever the fuck that is? I don't know. It just
You're just being apologetic towards his actions by saying that they didn't.
I'm not being apologetic, but I don't even think the jury fully saw that he was guilty of rape.
So they did. That's why they held him. That's why they determined that he was.
Why
they did.
Why didn't she report it? Why did it take 25 years or whatever, however long? It was over 2 decades.
So 62% of women who are raped never report it, and you're
So
going
how do you
to
know that?
shame.
If they never report it, where does that number come from?
Yeah, well, like never report it to the police.
Okay, so then who are they reporting that to?
Therapists, friends, polls.
Okay.
Right. Anyways, so 62% of women who are raped never report it to the police. So why should we shame this woman for taking 23 years? It's very common for victims to take time when they want to seek like legal repercussions for these. And particularly in her scenario, it's probably because she knew when she did, her reputation would be destroyed. She'd lose her job. People would start treating her as a monolith of the left, dehumanizing her and her lived experiences to cover for this guy. There's we shouldn't victim shame here.
I'm not victim shaming.
You are. You're saying because she took so long to come out about it, legally speaking,
but I
that it
also
didn't
think
happen.
That, if our country, like, if there wasn't a statute of limitations for her to convict him criminally, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. It's just, that is my opinion, that you should be accountable. And if there's a statute of limitations, do it within that time. That's just my thought.
Or maybe instead of blaming her for not pursuing criminal litigation, one second, instead of blaming E. Jean Carroll for not pursuing criminal litigation when that statute of limitations window was open, maybe we should blame the state of New York and legislators as a whole for even imposing statute of limitations on criminal trials for rape. Like, don't blame the victim, blame the system that impeded the victim from seeking full accountability.
Well, I also blame her friend, because her friend knew about it. So why didn't her friend report it? Like,
wait, I'm so sorry. Rape victims tell people that they trust, people that they love, people that they care about close to them about this all the time, but they ask them not to tell anyone else because they're scared of what could happen to them if the word gets out. Why are we still victim shaming? Why are we victim blaming? This is crazy.
Well, then that person is allowing that rapist to run free and potentially hurt someone else then.
Yeah, because they respect the words, the wants, the needs, and desires of the victim.
Okay, so fuck the other people. Let them get raped too? Is that what we're saying?
What?
If you're not going to report it and save other people and get this person off the street, like, you're saying fuck the rest of the victims, I only care about myself.
Maybe we should blame Trump for raping her in the first place instead of blaming her for dealing with the emotional turmoil, the potential backlashes that she knew she would experience. Why are we blaming the victim? You are literally blaming the victim. You are saying E. Jean Carroll did something bad by not reporting this sooner instead of Trump doing something bad by raping her in the first place. This is gross. This is deplorable. This is disgusting. This is you make me want to fucking puke in my mouth.
Oh,
you are gross.
Do when you look in the mirror.
What do you see when you look in a mirror?
I see someone very successful with a family and who wants...
You have kids?
I have 3 kids.
Would you let someone babysit them that was held legally, civilly liable for sexual abuse?
I would let Donald Trump babysit them.
That's not the question I asked you. Would you let someone babysit your kids? Oh, so you'd let okay, I have a question. So if a 40-year-old man walked up to your 10-year-old daughter and said that he'd date her in 10 years, would you vote for him?
You know what? I debated Harry the other night. He asked me the same question. That's why I swear you guys have scripts. You guys just check the boxes off and you go to the next question and the next question. You go to the next bullet point.
Okay, can you answer my scripted question?
No, I'm not going to answer anything.
So you're disengaging conversation with me.
No, because
Okay, so then engage in conversation with me. If a 40-year-old man walked up to your 10-year-old daughter, said that he'd be dating her in 10 years, would you vote for him or would you slap him?
Would I vote for him? I'm voting for him in November.
So you'd be okay if he sexualized your 10-year-old daughter. You'd still think you should be in the Oval Office.
Sexualizing her.
Oh, then what was he doing? So why would he date her in 10 years? So we all uphold standards, preferences, and values insofar as determining who we would and wouldn't like date.
So you know what? Can I ask you? Let me tell you something.
So we all uphold standards for who we would and wouldn't be like romantically involved in, right? We have like standards insofar as what their personality is, like attractiveness levels, our type, etc. So what was the relevant quality that Trump saw in that 10-year-old girl that led him to the conclusion that he'd be dating her in 10 years? Her fucking personality? Be so fucking for real. He was sexualizing her. He was saying, that 10-year-old is sexy. I can't wait until she's legal so I could fuck her. That's what Trump was saying. Thank you for that, a mustache.
Settings. How do I unmute? You muted me.
Because you interrupted me.
Oh, you know what? Here we go. Let's talk about our feelings.
I'm not talking about my feelings. I was very pragmatic about it. Muted you, spoke, unmuted you. Thank you for the money gun. I appreciate you for the love.
Can you agree that most stuff on the internet is edited? Most stuff in the media is edited. You would agree with that.
Most stuff on the internet and on the media?
Yes.
Like, I don't know about most, but definitely a lot.
A lot. So would you possibly think that video was edited?
No, because this was from 1992 before AI existed.
Okay, I thought you were an IT person. You can totally still edit that shit.
This aired live in 1992. They couldn't edit his voice. Do you want me to go ahead and play it?
No, Harry and I talked about it the other night.
Let's go ahead and play it for everyone in here that hasn't heard it yet. Passport, thank you so much for all the money guns. I really appreciate you for the love, man. Also, if y'all want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are on my bio. Anyways.
I'm gonna be dating her in 10 years.
I'll play that again because you kind of spoke there.
Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm gonna be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it? Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm gonna be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
So you're still not talking, though, about Ashley Biden.
Okay, huge pivot. Wow, I'm going to ignore that.
No, but
hey,
it's
thank you for the $5 on Venmo.
It's because it's so hypocritical.
It's not hypocritical at all.
It is.
So if the contents of Ashley Biden's diary were verified and I was upholding like the same standard with Trump but not upholding it for Biden, that would be hypocritical. But my stance is very clear, right? The contents of Ashley Biden's diary are unverified.
Have you seen the pictures of him sniffing kids?
Oh yeah, I've also seen the videos of Trump like yelling at a little girl in the stands at one of his rallies, calling her beautiful 10, 12 times, inviting her to come up on stage, then grabbing her and kissing her as she squirms away.
Oh my God. See,
which one is worse? Biden sniffing his granddaughter, or like Trump calling a little girl beautiful 15 times and then inviting her up, grabbing her, kissing her as she squirms away? Which one is worse?
I'm pretty sure I've seen the same video with Biden.
Oh, really? Play it for me.
Dude, you're on the internet all day. I do not have time to sit here and research for you.
Oh, so we're lying.
No, doesn't mean we're lying. You bring up.
Oh, it means you can't justify your statements.
Should I sit here and ask you for a source for everything you say?
You could ask me to prove anything that has came out of my mouth.
What about your dog food company?
Well, I'm not going to provide you with the name of a private company.
See? You are something.
The reason that I'm not going to provide you with the name of like the dog food company that I co-owned and worked on for a long time is because it particularly still has members of my family working at it. And I don't want it to be the case that like the public address and phone numbers docs to a bunch of MAGA cultists that don't like me. But this also doesn't have to do with the claim that I've made pertaining to the debate on why Trump is not a good presidential nominee. It's just like a weird pivot from yourself, a weird deflection.
It's just trying to make you realize that you...
Steven, I appreciate you for the $20 on Venmo. Steven says, keep this up. You're freaking amazing, man. Steven, I really appreciate you for the love. Let's get a massive W, Steven, in that chat, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the love. Massive W, Steven, all day, every day, baby. Thank you so much for the $20, Steven. Chat, yo, balls. Can I get a quick W, Steven, for the $20 on Venmo?
Oh, W. Steven. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So, yeah, was there like anything else that you particularly wanted to go over here, balls?
Well, I wanted to just raise a question about abortion. Okay. This is because I have different thoughts on, you know who I'm voting for. So you'd probably think I think one way. but I'm not 100% with how the right thinks on abortion. But I have a question of, do we ever stop to think, women, more so women, this is the question for the women, do we ever stop to think that sometimes that abortion is being pushed so much by a lot of men for women to have those rights of abortion and for benefit of them? Because does it listen, because there are a lot of women that go in not wanting to have an abortion, but they do it anyway, and there are statistics on that.
Yeah. So basically the argument here is pro-choice men are only pro-choice so they could scapegoat responsibility of having a child if they get a woman pregnant. But see, the reason that this argument ultimately fails is because I am pro-choice because I uphold dignity to access to healthcare, personal rights, liberties, and freedoms, and I recognize what pro-life legislation does to the family unit by putting unwanted children in unready homes and by increasing rates of poverty, decreasing levels of employment, and decreasing levels of education, and overall decreasing qualities of lives. And I think it is the case that you have to assume a thought in my mind that I don't have to devalue my character by assuming bad intentions so you can brush off my logical argumentation without critically thinking. Because when a bad person says something with bad intentions, you could brush it off without a second thought in comparison to engaging in critical thought and actually challenging your preconceived biases. Then it is also the case that I think that is a harmful narrative because typically speaking, men really like to oppress women, fiddle around with their rights, be pieces of shit, and perpetuate the misogyny, uphold all that, right? So then when you see a guy that's like, oh, maybe the oppression of women is bad, you still want to assume some self-centered, egotistical reason for doing so, when in all reality, no, I just think that women should have the right over their own bodies.
Okay, fair enough. I wasn't even assuming you. I was just raising the question there.
It was implied. Okay,
well, I apologize if it was implied. It was not targeted.
Don't apologize for the implication because I dismantled that shit. Cooked.
Okay, you need to...
Joshua, I appreciate you for the $6.66 on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Joshua.
The arrogance needs to come down a few levels, okay?
Oh, I'm really not arrogant. I'm just confident.
No, it comes off as arrogant. I can tell you that.
Okay, but Trump saying that the worst issue in the world is the southern border right now doesn't.
You stay on.
Trump saying that he likes to unconsensually grab women by the P word because they all love him because he's so rich and famous. Okay. Doesn't.
Hey, ask me my favorite Trump policy.
Yeah, what's your favorite policy of Trump's?
Grab him by the pussy. Does that trigger anybody?
Oh yeah, let's go ahead and laugh and make jokes off of the normalization of sexual abuse, and then you get a point and act like I'm so despicable when I say that it's wrong to normalize sexual abuse and harm against women.
Oh wait,
do you know how fucking crazy that is? Yes, let's normalize this quote unquote. Let's normalize this quote-unquote locker room talk where we are just unconsensually grabbing women by the P word because we assume that they want us.
We're so offended. God, get a fucking helmet. Life's tough. Get over it.
Did you just say get a helmet, life's tough, get over it in context of me saying that we shouldn't normalize sexual abuse?
No, because you were offended by the word I said. Come on.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think it's appropriate for men to refer to, to use the word pussy in a demeaning way, because we know that the word pussy is in reference to the female vagina, and it's more so just, it's like low-key a misogynistic slur. It's really derogatory. I don't like it. But majority what I was touching on there was by the normalization of sexual abuse, just unconsensually engaging in sexual activities with women without asking them first because we just assume that we want them. Normalizing that is harmful to women. Do you disagree?
Huh? What'd you say?
Normalizing unconsensually grabbing women by the vagina without asking them first is harmful to women because it normalizes sexual abuse.
Who's normalizing it?
I'm gonna scream. Anything else that you wanted to add on here before I kick you, never think about you again?
Oh, you'll think about me. I know Harry.
Sean, I appreciate you for the $2 on Venmo. I went through if it's on a profile if she's too far gone. Aaron, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. Ask her where her compassion is. Yeah, where the fuck is your empathy? Telling me to get a grip because I don't like sexual abuse or the normalization of it.
Oh, God,
fucking
you just...
for real. Wendy with the $2 on PayPal. I appreciate you for the love. Anything else that you wanted to go over here today, balls?
No.
Felicia, thank you for the $5 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love, Felicia. Let's get a W, Felicia, in the chat for the $5 on Venmo. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead and continue. I got a Venmo.
No, you're good. No, I do appreciate. I do not feel like you were as condescending as I've seen you to others before. So I will say thank you. I appreciate it. Good
Yeah,
talk.
hey, real quick. One last question here, balls. What's 4 plus 4?
Oh, 8.
And that I did. Moving on to our next guest. Get the fuck out of here. Never come back. If you're MAGA, make sure to let me know in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to hit that follow button if you haven't already. We're just looking to debate some Trump supporters today. Additionally, if you want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal, they're in my bio. I get 100% of the proceeds on those platforms. And additionally speaking here, you'll get a notification at the top of my phone screen where I could give you a shout out. It attaches your name, the amount, as well as a message. Hey, good way to get in touch if you want me to read something off. Moving on to our next guest here. If you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. Y'all already know the algorithm is just cooking today. I'm so happy that I could be in front of nearly 4,000 people dismantling these MAGA lies. It honestly just fulfills my heart. It makes me happy. It makes me sleep good at night. Moving on here. Let's go get Preston up in the box. I invited you. We actually have 100 guest requests. Jeez. We have so many people in here. Let's go to get our next guest up in here, y'all. So everyone just give us a minute here. Worst guest ever? Yeah, that was a trip. We're going to move on to our next guest, Addie here. All right, Addie's not loading in. Everyone be patient. Be patient. Bear with us. Be patient. Bear with us. We're going to move on to Cameron. Everyone give us a minute. Everyone hit that follow button. Hit that freaking follow button if you haven't already, okay? If that button right there is red, hit that shit. Hit the follow button on the main account down here as well. Bro, geeking? Yeah, I'm geeking. Not going to lie. All right, moving on. We're going to go and load up our next guest. Someone in the guest request, their name is like the one and only QAnon. I really want to get them up here. What's up, Brian? How old are you?
48.
48. Are you voting for Trump?
Yes.
Okay, one and only Queen, hop back in the guest request. All right, Brian, why are you voting for Trump?
For the person per se, as much as the policies.
Okay, I didn't. So when you go on pause, I can't hear you. Did you say that you're voting for him because of his policies?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I go on pause? My bad. Yeah, voting for. Okay. Yeah, I'm voting for him for policies.
Yeah, can you name one policy that Trump influenced to get passed that benefited the middle class more so than the top 1%?
Absolutely. The tax breaks, the inflation, everything was lower. Gas was lower. Groceries were lower. My taxes have went up. It's
okay. Like right now, your taxes went. So we're still under Trump's tax code. Get a grip.
The tax bracket just changed on us.
No.
And my CPA was just informing me that the tax bracket changed.
Those are going to be local or statewide, not federal.
Well, everything's up. I'm against abortion. I'm against.
Hey Brian, how did Biden cause inflation?
By printing money, by spending money, billions sent to Ukraine. You can't do that. It's what I mean. You print money, inflation goes up.
Okay, Brian, let's evaluate those two things. Printing money and spending it. So we saw the greatest increase in the M2 money supply, which is, quote unquote, printing money under January of August 2020, which was under Trump. And that was his response to COVID. He signed a $2.3 trillion COVID relief plan, while Biden only signed a $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan. So if this is what drives inflation, it is due to Trump predominantly. And then if we're talking about spending money, well, then we saw more debt-related spending under Trump in comparison to Biden, right? Particularly speaking, even if we take out all of COVID-related debt added to our economy under Trump and compare that figure to all of Biden's, Trump still spent about $2 trillion more than Biden.
Nah.
Yes,
I'm
this is facts. This is an evaluation of national debt, yes.
I'm also against abortion.
Nah?
I'm tired of...
Brian, why did you say nah? I just gave you facts. What?
Gave me facts.
Yes, we're particularly talking about when the largest increase of the M2 money supply was. You could literally find that like online from like government resources. You could also look up like FRED, the federal, like it's a federal institute that tracks these things. When we're talking about national debt, also we could like reference like government sources insofar as the determination of like how much they spent in debt-related spending under the two presidents. Like this is public information. It's well tracked and it's well accounted for. You can't just say nah. It's a fact.
I disagree with you. I disagree with what you're saying because we were better off under Trump. It's just plain and simple. We were better off under Trump. And before COVID, he had half the spending that Biden has.
Oh, yeah. So if we ignore all of Trump's COVID-related spending insofar as what was added to the national debt, we still end up with a figure that is about $1 trillion higher to all of the debt that Biden's administration has added to the economy, including COVID-related spending.
So you're saying the billions we've sent to Ukraine, that didn't have anything to do with inflation?
So the billions we've sent to Ukraine does not compare to the $2.3 trillion that was footed to the American taxpayer with Trump's Tax Cut and Jobs Act plan that sent 83% of those cuts to the top 1% and only
which brought businesses back here,
which only determined which only
jobs.
led to a 0.02% in average annual increase in our GDP.
Yeah, but we had businesses coming back to the United States.
Okay, then explain why we had a lower unemployment rate under Biden's term in comparison to Trump's. Under Trump, the best we saw was 3.5%. Under Biden, the best we saw was 3.4%.
And inflation, whenever Biden took office, was at what, 1.4?
Well, if you're going to blame inflation on Biden, you'd have to particularly tell me how Biden caused it. But the inflation that we saw was global: Northeast, Southwest, Asia, Africa, Europe, Australia. You got to any continent, we're going to see the same inflation. The U.S. had one of the quickest global rebounds from it, though.
Yeah. Well, he also takes credit for all the jobs coming back, but it was after businesses closed and opened back up.
Yeah, I think a lot of those jobs coming back are going to be bounced back, and I would say that this is Biden taking credit for correlation, for a correlate in comparison to the idea that he caused it. But I'd also say the same thing about what you're doing right now, right? The increase in inflation wasn't caused by Biden's administration; it was just simply correlated to it. And until you could present me with an argument insofar as how he caused it, well, we could just make the same correlation causation fallacy about Trump's presidency and come to the conclusion that he had one of the worst economies ever. He was one of only 2 presidents that we've ever seen that left office with a negative net decline in jobs, and he also experienced a record high 14.8%.
Yeah, come on, man. That was in the middle of a pandemic.
Okay, so you're associating external variables. Brian, you're
jumping on Nancy Pelosi's bus.
This is the point.
Worst job decrease ever in the middle of COVID when everything was shutting down.
This is the point of my logic. You were literally proving my point right now because you are explaining things that happened under Trump's presidency by things that weren't Trump. Yeah. So not everything that happens under a president's term is caused by them. In the same way, you're saying that the high unemployment rate at the end of Trump's term wasn't caused by Trump, but rather was caused by the pandemic. The inflation that we saw at the beginning of Biden's term wasn't caused by Biden. It was caused by the pandemic.
Then we got men wearing women's dresses leading our country's nation with the military.
So yes. Got to pivot to the transphobia, folks. Got to pivot to the transphobia. How many continents?
I'm not scared of any trans. I just don't want someone running our military.
Hey, do you believe in God?
Issue.
Do you believe? Okay.
I absolutely do believe in God.
Oh, you're saying that being trans is a mental issue. Can you name one institution in medicine or science that would consider that would classify being trans as a mental issue?
Can you name one institution that's not funded by the government to say what they're supposed to say?
So you can't.
No, you can't.
Oh, wait, I can't name one that doesn't say it's a mental issue? I can name 17.
No, that's funded.
The World Health
Organization by the government.
The World Health Organization is not funded by the government. The American Psychiatric Association isn't funded by the government. The American Medical Association, the Endocrine Society, the British Psychological Society, the Royal College of Psychiatrics, the Canadian Psychological Association, the Australian Psychological Society, shut the fuck up, the European Society for Sexual Medicine, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Family Physicians, the American Counseling Association, the American Public Health Association, the Netherlands Institute of Brain Research, the Center for Neurodoctrine Studies at the University of Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, and the Center for Neurochronology all vehemently speak out against claims that being trans is a mental illness. And in fact, the only people who make these claims are individuals such as you, Brian, who are bigoted, transphobic, and not educated on the related issues. I swear to God, if you can name one medical health professional, one individual that works at these institutions that clearly states verbatim that being trans is a mental health issue, well, then I would give you fucking $500 because at the end of the day, you fucking can't, bro. This claim isn't born out of education. This claim isn't born out of research. This claim isn't born out of reputable institutions of science or medicine. This claim is born out of the biggest minds of individuals such as you that didn't go to school for 12 years to get a medical degree and don't work at these massive institutions that dedicate all of their research and millions of dollars towards these issues. No. But real quick, are you a Christian by chance?
I am.
Okay. Is God a man?
No.
Okay, so you use the pronouns he, him to refer to people that aren't men?
I did not use the pronouns for God. He does.
Okay, so you just called God a he, but God's not a man. Is
That's
God the
right.
Father a man?
No.
Okay, so you could be a father without being a man?
God is not a man. God is a spirit.
Yeah, you're saying God the Father isn't a man. So you're saying God is a father, but God's not
That's
a man.
right.
So you could be a father without being a man.
God can be a father without being a human person. Yes.
No, without being a man.
Hold on. Jesus
Wait,
calls
so
the
I
Holy
have a
Spirit
question.
he.
I have a question. What do you say in order to be referenced as he/him, you must have a penis?
If you went to school and you understand pronouns, absolutely.
Okay, then why
The
do you call it-
retardedness of he, him.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta kick you, bro. Anyways, the point there was he calls God a father, he calls God a he, him, but God doesn't have the male reproductive system, so he upholds like the idea that gender is a social construct. What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, he got cooked beyond all belief. He couldn't like hold ground and like justifying to me that Biden caused inflation, so he pivoted to the trans topic and I grilled him and then he slurred. Typical MAGA L. Hey, what's going on? How old are you? All right, you're not here. Guys, if you're MAGA, let me know in that chat. We're going to move on to our next guest here. If y'all want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are my bio, but we're going to move on to our next guest here. Thank you so much, Chef Tom, for the dancing bear. All right, moving on to our next guest. Y'all, if you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. Also, guys, make sure to hit that follow button, share out that live with a couple friends. Eden, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. Eden says, them jumping through hoops? Absolutely. They always do. They always do. And Evan, thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate you. Let's get a massive W, Eden, for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you for the love. Also, guys, Parker's going to be going live soon, and we're going to be hitting a pretty fun co-host with him, so I'm really excited for that. Anyways, moving on to our next guest here, y'all. Everyone just give us a moment to get our next guest up in the live. We're going to try to get DJ Jin X up in here. I also want to do a quick poll in the chat. Respond with a smiley face if you're riding for Biden, a sad face if you're voting for Dipey Don. What's up, DJ? How old are you?
44.
Are you voting for Trump, sir?
Yeah, hold on one second. I was chewing on
Thank you for
something.
that mustache. Oh, dear Lord. All right, so why are you voting for Trump?
Hold on.
I guess.
Sorry, but I didn't expect to be picked up so quick. Probably because we were doing better, and the positivity that we experience now, or that we see now, would be from.
Okay, so we were doing
Trump's
better under
presidency.
Trump. So can you explain to me how how Biden caused us to do worse?
How did Biden? Well, the spending, obviously.
So there's more debt-related spending under Trump's presidency than there was under Biden's.
We understand this whole thing that you said about the COVID and all that shit. We get that, but that was kind of nobody had a choice in that matter.
DJ, so you're saying that
Hold
the
on, let me
reason
ask
that
you a
Biden
question.
caused the economy... No. You're saying Biden caused everything to be worse because Biden spent money? Okay, well, there was a greater increase in the M2 money supply, as well as a greater amount of debt-related spending under Trump's presidency in comparison to Biden's, so your claim is false.
Okay, so do you think that when a policy or some sort of executive order gets put into place that the benefits are immediate?
Do I think when a policy or executive order is put in place are benefits immediate? No.
Okay, so they take a long time, right?
Like in some contexts, they can. Sometimes, like typically speaking, executive orders are fast acting. Policies can take a while to be implemented. It really just depends upon what specific policy.
So I would say definitely if whatever Biden did that people think or let's just say Biden did something that was fantastic, right? You're not going to see the benefit of that shit until long after he's gone.
Okay, holy pivot, DJ. I asked you why you're voting for Trump. You said because Biden made things worse. I asked you how. You said because more spending. Then I tell you that you're just literally false, and then you pivot to how long policy takes to have an effect on the American people. One second.
Because
hey, real quick.
the positivity
do you think
everybody
do you think
says that is due to Biden that we see right now?
Do you think that? Hey,
Trump's
sir,
presidency.
Okay, that's a crazy claim. I'm gonna
200,000
disregard.
jobs. Come on.
So, name one policy that Trump implemented that benefited the middle class more so than rich people.
We could all go on this tax thing. It's going to be the same thing everybody else said. It ain't going to be any fucking different.
Okay, so how do you know it's due to his policy if you don't even know his policy?
Huh?
How do you know it's?
Well,
due to
I know this. I know he didn't. He didn't get a lot of policies put in because they fought him for 4 years.
He had
So
a
he got a lot
greater
of
split in
executive
Congress. No. He had a better split in Congress than Biden ever has. He promised an infrastructure bill for 4 years, never got it done. Then Biden got it done in his first
It was
year
written
with a
up and it
worse
got
split.
signed under Biden because they fought him for 4 years on it. Come
No,
on.
that's a complete lie. It was not written up under Trump's administration.
Okay,
I'll
so
bet
you want to use Biden's Infrastructure Act, right, as one of Biden's great achievements?
No, I'm particularly using this to reference how you can't name any Trump policy, and you're particularly referencing the idea that Trump's policy has caused the economy to do so well now. However, that is absolutely false. You couldn't even name his policy, sir.
No, I didn't follow a bunch of Trump's policies. I'll be honest, I really didn't.
Yo! Shirley with the $100 on PayPal! Holy cow, Shirley! Yo, please, let's get at least...
Where your money from?
1 second, let's get at least 100 W Shirleys in the chat for the $100 on PayPal. That is absolutely incredible, and that is so kind of you, Shirley. Y'all, please, let's get at least 100, at minimum, 100 W Shirleys for the incredible kindness on PayPal. Holy shit, Shirley. Thank you so much for the love. Massive W Shirleys all day, every day, baby. That was so incredibly kind for you. Shirley even added the message there, educational live. I'm trying, Shirley. That means so much to me. If you want to direct message me after this, just let me know that you're Shirley. I'll give you a response. Thank you so much for the $100 on PayPal. And Christine, thank you so much for the $10 on Venmo. I really appreciate you for the love. Let's throw some W Christines in there as well. Christine says, keep up the fight for democracy. Thank you for your time and your platform. Bring down MAGA supporters. Thank you so much for your kind words, Christine. I'm actually going to go ahead and bring DJ down right now. Hey, DJ, do you think that violent offenders should be able to buy guns?
But no.
Okay. Is grape a violent offense?
Obviously. Don't, or you're going to get into the
so
same...
rapists... So people who are held legally responsible for grape shouldn't be able to buy guns?
Well, yeah, of course.
But they should be able to sit in the Oval Office with access to the nuclear...
There was no rape charge.
Yes.
Grape charge.
So he was upheld as being civilly liable for sexual abuse, which we colloquially refer to as grape. The reason that he was not held legally responsible for grape explicitly, it was because at the time in the state of New York, grape was legally defined as the male member entering into the female member, and due to E. Jean Carroll's own testimony, that being she didn't know if it was the PP or the hands, they didn't have sufficient reason to charge him with grape. However, it is the case that regardless if it was the PP or his hands or both, that would still be colloquially referred to as grape.
Okay, and everybody still believes that this took place in a Bloomingdale's freaking changing room, huh?
Yes, because that was a determination of a court of law.
There's security all over that place. She couldn't scream or yell or say anything?
Well, I mean, a lot of victims don't scream or yell and say anything when they're getting raped because they're in fucking shock. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to perceive what is happening to them. They maybe don't even immediately recognize it as grape. They wonder if they're doing something wrong to deserve this, so maybe they don't need to scream out and yell.
I would say
Have you ever been grape, DJ? Have you ever been grape, DJ?
Not in the last few hours.
What?
Not in the last few hours.
So have you been raped in your lifetime?
No.
Okay, don't joke about being raped, DJ. But you haven't been raped in your lifetime. You wouldn't know the emotional response that is elicited given grape. So I don't think that you're in a place to make the determination that any true, quote-unquote, victim of grape would yell out for help. Because that's not how it happens, sir.
Who am I to argue and say that did it? But it just seems crazy to me that this would take place in a public area, considering the people involved.
People get raped in public areas, and it was particularly within a private changing room. And I don't know why this should seem, thank you for the pinch face, Christina, seem crazy to you, given Trump's own track record. I mean, he's been on record saying that he likes to grab women by the P word without asking first, because they quote-unquote all want him because he's rich and famous, right? And then in E. Jean Carroll's deposition to the court, she pointed out the fact that when he started graping her, pressing her up against the wall, pinning her and kissing her, that she thought that he was under the impression that this was some type of lucrative, consensual feeling that they both have, and they just wanted to fuck each other so bad, when in all reality, it's not what she wanted. And this was almost expected, given his statements, that he can grab women by the P word without asking first, because they all want him.
I can't. Look, I'm not going to agree with the whole grab. I don't even talk like that, so I wouldn't. I don't agree with it. I don't. But one thing I can say is I was a contractor business for 20 years, and when Trump was in office, right?
One second, I'm so sorry for cutting you off. Ryan, Lucky, LAGER84, hop in the guest request. They just said, quote unquote, so she didn't say no. Yeah, hop the fuck in the guest request. Come up here, get cooked. Anyways, continue, DJ.
So I had a contractor business for 20 years, and what I did notice was during Trump's time in office, the economy was doing better because I could tell by the amount of people that were spending money, right? People were more eager to have their houses redone and put money out, and that's a good indicator on the economy.
Oh, I mean, if you're just referencing the idea that the economy has been shot as long as Biden's been in office, you're right. Like DJ, I'm not mad at people that come up here and they tell me the reason they're not voting for Biden is because the economy has been bad while he's been president. It makes me want to educate and explain and invoke critical thought. Because the reason we saw the housing market go to shit, the reason we saw inflation skyrocket, the reason we saw an increased price in gas wasn't because of Biden, his policy, or his executive order, but it was rather... Yo, Andrea with the Lily the leopard. Yo, Andrea, that was such a cute little gift. Thank you so much for the Lily the leopard. Let's get some W Andreas for the Lily the leopard in the chat. Thank you so much for the love. Massive W Andreas, folks. But we rather saw inflation as a global response from the pandemic. We saw gas prices rise as a response to the deal that Trump brokered with Saudi Arabia to decrease oil supply that increased prices. And we saw the housing market skyrocket because of particular limits on rates for loans from the feds. None of this had to do with Biden or his executive order or his policy.
Well, the rise in gas prices is going to affect the cost and everything because it's going to affect delivery cost.
Ranger, I appreciate you. Ranger, join in. I invited you. Join up, Ranger. Yes, but the reason how did Biden cause a rise in gas prices?
He shut down that major pipeline the first 30 or 90 days he was in office, whatever it was. And so significant change. So then we weren't processing the fuel here anymore. We were, obviously we were producing it, but we were sending it out to refine somewhere else, which then, rises the cost of gas here again.
Yeah. So
refining and coming back. So that was a huge reason for the increase in everything overall.
Yeah. So great point, DJ. But Bastion, thank you so much for the perfect beats. Thank you so much, Bastion. So great point, but there's a couple reasons why you're wrong here. So first of all, the Keystone XL wasn't in production. So the Keystone XL wasn't adding any oil into the supply chain. So when they shut it down, it couldn't have driven prices up because it wasn't impacting the supply. Second point, Biden didn't shut it down because he didn't like it. Biden shut it down because of a court order to do so. Third point, it was a Canadian-owned pipeline, and the U.S. would have only expected to get 10% of the crude oil it produced. Fourth point, the 10% of the crude oil that it did produce wouldn't have been used to be refined into gasoline at the pump.
I knew that this was going to be an argument, and I read differently, and unfortunately I don't have my damn laptop open to pull any solid information up to back up my claim here.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest bit of information there, like court order aside, Canadian-owned aside, everything aside, it didn't impact the supply of oil. So when Biden shut its production down, it couldn't have driven prices up. Because in order to drive the price of oil up, the supply is necessarily impacted, okay? But another point here, Trump did broker a deal with Saudi Arabia towards the end of his term to decrease oil supply in OPEC that drove prices up. I just want to point that out. But I got to thank a couple donos here. So, Marine, thank you so much for the $25 on PayPal. Let's get 25 W Marines in that chat. I really appreciate you for the love and passion with the money gun. And Stephanie, thank you so much for the $30 on PayPal. Thank you so much for the love, Stephanie. Let's get 30 W Stephanies in that chat. W Marine, Marnie, and Stephanie, thank you guys so much for the love. And then one more person here, Crystal with the $20 on Venmo saying, keep up the good work. Let's get 20 W Crystals. Thank you so much for the $20 on PayPal. But anyways, DJ, was there any other points that you particularly wanted to go over here?
I would get into the whole the border crisis thing, but I'm pretty sure that'll lead to me getting kicked off because I'll get in an emotional state and won't be able to control my mouth. So I'm going to let you go and then do some arguments from somebody else.
Yeah, hey, also DJ, we've spoken before and we've had like really like shitty train wrecky conversation. I appreciate you for coming up here and being respectful, man.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah, have a good one, DJ. We're going to move on to our next guest, y'all. If we are on the guest request, specifically make sure that we are going to be voting for Trump. Also, Parker's going to be going live super duper soon, and we're going to be doing some co-hosting with him. So I'm super excited for that. Let's go and load up our next guest, though. In the meantime, if you're MAGA, just let me know in the chat literally right now. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and send out a quick poll. If you're voting for Biden, let me see a smiley face. If you're voting for Diaper Don, let me see a sad face. Make sure to hit that follow button on my account as well. I do these debate lives every single day. But yeah, let's go to move on to our next guest. I want to try to get someone up here that just screams MAGA. So give me a moment. Do be patient, guys. Do be patient. All right, moving on to our next guest here, y'all. Everyone just give us a moment. It's been a super good stream today, guys. It's been an amazing stream today. Colby, thank you for the $1 on Venmo. Hey, what's up? How old are you?
51.
Awesome. And are you voting for Trump?
I am.
All right, you have background noise, so unfortunately I am going to move on to the next guest, but I do appreciate you for coming up here. Moving on to our next guest, everyone. Be patient. Do be patient. Let's try to get, let's see here. We're gonna get Brandy up in the live, ladies and gentlemen. Also, if you're enjoying, make sure, do double tap on that phone screen. Do share that live out. Y'all already know. Moving, loading in our next guest. If you're MAGA, honestly, just let me know in the chat. It's a bit easier to pull people up that way. Can you say neither? Yes, but ultimately we do have to vote for the lesser of two evils. Alrighty. All right, folks, loading up our next guest. Everyone be patient. It seems like we're kind of having issues getting someone to connect. We're going to see if Samson will connect. All right, Brandon Cox says MAGA for life. We're going to try to get you up here. All right, we sent you an invite. All right, Steve Boyma. I invited you up. Steve Boyma, please accept my guest request. You think I'm paid by the DNC. Please accept my guest request here today. All right, moving on to our next guest as well. Let's try to get Cherry Fizz up in the live. Alrighty, everyone, give me a moment. Also, guys, who's been watching these political streams of mine since I started them? Do y'all remember when I didn't know anything about it and I'd just admit to not knowing shit and I was kind of bad at debating the political topics, but now just like a month later, I'm kind of cooking? Moving on here, guys. Everyone just kind of give us a moment. I don't know why it's taking so long to get our next guest up in here. Yeah, y'all remember that. We've been cooking, though. All right, honestly, I'm just going to start, like, spam inviting people up from the guest queue just because no one's letting in. What's up, Chanice? How old are you? Chancey, hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? How old are you?
I'm 20.
Awesome, and are you voting for Trump?
Oh, I'm definitely voting for Trump.
All right, why so, bro?
Because he has a big fat cock.
Okay. Wow. Moving on to our next guest. Holy cow, that gave me a headache.
Oh.
Hey, what's up? How old are you?
16, but I just want to ask you something.
Fetus! Delete us the fetus. Moving on. Y'all, I'm so sorry for this interlude. I guess, yeah, in the meantime, guys, if you want to support me, my Venmo, my PayPal, or my bio, it's a great way to support me. I really appreciate everyone who's shown love today. What's up, Timmy? How old are you?
I'm 18.
18? What year were you born in?
05.
05,
August
perfect.
16th.
Yeah, are you voting for Diaper Don?
Unfortunately, I am.
Okay, why so?
I really don't like neither of them, to be honest, but I'm actually really worried about our border.
Okay, do you think we currently have a border crisis today?
Well, I know there's been a lot, sorry about that, in the past, but under Biden, so.
Do you think we currently have a border crisis today?
Yeah.
So does this mean that you also thought that we had a border crisis under Trump's presidency? Because after Biden's executive order, insofar as the border goes, we have seen a 44% decrease in the amount of crossings per day, putting us at about 2,400 a day, which was the same amount of crossings as we saw in January of 2021 under Trump.
Yeah, absolutely. I really don't like
Well, if there was a border crisis under both
like,
Biden and Trump, why would this give you particular reason to vote for Trump?
I mean, I thought it was better under Trump, to be honest.
What was particularly?
Just the prices, everything. I mean, you've heard it a million times.
I have, but how did Biden cause your prices to increase? Because I think the pandemic caused your prices to increase. This is why prices... We could use very simple logic for this. If Biden caused prices to increase, then it would be unexpected to see, you know, like prices increase in countries that Biden doesn't control. And the inflation that we saw was global. Asia, Africa, Europe, Antarctica, if they have stores down there, that's obviously hyperbolic. Australia, etc. It was caused by the pandemic. It was global. It was not caused by Biden here at home.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, honestly. I don't know. I just like the prices better, which you did say COVID, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but if we don't have any good reason to believe that Biden caused them to be worse, or that Trump caused them to be better when he was in presidency, why would you vote for Trump expecting them to be better?
I really don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, Timmy, is there anything else that you wanted to go over with me today?
Why are you voting for Biden?
Yeah, because, you know, for predominantly because I don't like Trump, because he was held civilly liable for rape. He's a proven fraudster. He's an election denier. He inspired virtues of distrust in our civil and electoral systems and tens of millions of American voters by denying the outcome of the 2020 election. Biden also had some of the most monumental legislation in modern U.S. history, looking at the CHIPS and Science Act, the PACT Act, the Infrastructure Bill, as well as the Inflation Reduction Act. All right, we could also reference the idea that, like, you know, Trump is a literal threat to our democracy. And his platform of Agenda 47 alongside Project 2025 puts the rights of, you know, already disenfranchised and marginalized communities further at risk. There's a lot of good reasons here.
Yeah, I mean, can I just say this? In all, I think the government is corrupt, like every part of it. So, I don't know, I'm just really confused about a lot, because I feel like I'm getting lies from both sides, honestly. So
that's fair, man. There's political propaganda everywhere. What we should more so be concerned with is not just fact and acceptance of fact, but critical thinking, so we can examine what is true and what is false. Like, I don't even just want to like spoon feed you my narrative. I want to just inspire you to think critically.
Yeah. So how do you feel about RFK, if you don't mind me asking?
I think that RFK is a total mess. And we don't even need to go over the reasons why I think that's the case, because particularly speaking, he has a 0% chance at winning in the Electoral College, so a vote thrown at RFK is a vote thrown away.
Okay. So really the only two with a chance are Trump and Biden.
Yeah, but hey, Timmy, I appreciate you for coming up, man.
All right, thanks.
Yep, see ya. We're going to move on to our next guest here. Yeah, RFK, apart from just being a piece of shit, is just not a viable candidate, and that's the truth. We're going to get our next guest, Drew, up in here, y'all. By the way, Mr. Parker should be going live very soon, so that'll be fun. Right now it's about 4:22 his time. He said he got out of the shower. He said he'd be going live in like 30 minutes, 20 minutes ago, so we should expect a Parker live here very soon. All right, moving on to our next guest, y'all. Everyone just kind of give us a moment. If you're MAGA, let me know in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and try to lit up Rise. Where did our emotional men go? I feel like we don't really have that many emotional men anymore. All right, we're going to try to get Jace up in the live, y'all. If you're MAGA, just let me know. W guess? Yeah, at least he was respectful in asking questions. What's up, Jace? How old are you?
28.
Are you voting for Chomp?
All day long. I think everyone else should too.
Hey, I have a question. If a 40-year-old man walked up to your 10-year-old daughter and told her that he'd be dating her in 10 years, would you vote for him?
Honestly, when it comes to the president, I try to not look at things like that. I mean, Biden sniffs 12-year-olds' hair.
Yeah, his granddaughters, and there's clips of Trump not just sniffing a 12-year-old's hair, but calling a little girl beautiful 10 times at one of his rallies, and telling their parents to let her up on stage, then grabbing her and kissing her while she squirms away. He's also been held civilly liable of rape. He's boasted about walking into the changing rooms of naked teen girls at Miss Teen USA because he owns a place. He says he likes to unconsensually grab women by the P word, and he says he'll date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He's called his own daughter voluptuous. He's called his own daughter a piece of ass, or at least agreeing with Howard Stern when he does that. He said that he'd date his own daughter if he wasn't his daughter. When we try to draw up a comparative analysis of creepiness, Trump fails.
I think they're both a little bit creepy, but most old white dudes are, and they are our only two choices, to be honest. But
what's worse,
when it
sniffing
comes
your granddaughter's
to,
hair or raping a woman?
honestly, I think what's worse is the state of the country since Biden's took office. And truth be told, as Ben Carson stated when he was on The View, the world respects Trump more. Trump's employees respect him. Out of everyone that's ever worked for him, which are thousands upon thousands of people, you have a very hard time finding anyone with negative things to say about him, except for a handful of people who greatly monetarily benefited from saying negative things about him. And, you know, back to some of the other conversations, such as the economy, when it comes to gas prices, consumer confidence and the stock market and everything, a lot of that is based off of, as I said, you know, the confidence of the market. And when Trump was president, the market was more confident. The only thing Trump really did wrong, in my opinion, which I'm saying wrong, but as of right now, the way China is handling the tariffs and with their economy, it's looking like in the long term, Trump may actually be right, which would actually make Biden right as well, because Biden actually not only kept Trump's tariffs in place, he also enforced a few more. But that's the big knock on Trump and his economy, was those tariffs and how they hurt the U.S. economy. But in the long term, it is actually looking like China is going to have to renegotiate with us because their economy is going to shit right now. They can't afford health care for their own citizens. And everything Trump said when he did those tariffs is actually starting to look a lot like it could be true. The difference in Biden and Trump...
Do you mind if I respond to those first couple of claims?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so when we're referencing like the people around him only disliking them if they gain like money, I mean that's false. I mean we saw his own VP reject him after the insurrection. We saw 40 of his 44 cabinet members follow in suit. We've also seen like people around the nation be displeased with the fact that he was held civilly liable for rape, and I think everyone should realistically be. When we're referencing like a consumer confidence, I don't think that the reason we saw a decrease in consumer confidence was because of Biden. It was probably because of the pandemic. You'd have a hard time contesting that. When we're referencing tariffs ultimately do serve as a detriment to the middle class. This is an uncontroversial take given economists. This is why we see like national trade deals to reduce tariffs because of the detriment that they impose upon the middle class. But even if you disagree with me there, it doesn't matter because Biden agreed with Trump on that. So I guess I disagree with them both. So you'd be agreeing with Biden there too. But anyways, so what particular claim there did you want to rebuttal?
Well, honestly, I'll just continue with the whole, because the whole point of the argument is Trump or Biden. And when I look at the two, and I know you have been arguing with others about this, when it does come to the economy, you do have the pandemic, and you do have COVID in place that did affect both Trump and Biden. But as in, like when you stated the inflation issue, Trump actually was doing a lot better in his first 3 years before the pandemic than Biden has done since the pandemic, if you go on a year-by-year basis.
Well, I mean, if we also consider the fact that the U.S. has had one of the quickest global rebounds from the global inflation that was caused by the pandemic, I'd say that point is ultimately null. And then also a comparison of like the years following COVID in comparison to Trump's first 3 years is kind of a no-go for the reason that the predicate of these years was for Trump a very prosperous economies lined up by Obama, right? Like Trump's lowest gas prices were the day he walked into office. In comparison to Biden's was the rebound of the literal pandemic, the surge in government spending, the surge in inflation, the surge of gas prices because of a decreased oil production. There can't really be a fair comparison made there.
Well, the only comparison I could really say there is, I've dealt with the market in a few different ways, before pandemic, after the pandemic. And as I said, the consumer confidence is a huge deal, especially in America. Our economy definitely is the best economy in the world. Everyone knows that, but they don't understand China, Japan, the United Kingdom. Hundreds of billions of dollars between those countries is based off of.
But this is super trivial, because if you're going to say that like Biden caused consumer confidence to decrease, you're going to have to give me a policy or an executive order that caused that to be the case.
Well, I mean, we could talk about the gas prices in Biden's own words during his debates before he was elected. Not only did he, threaten the new Keystone Pipeline, he threatened the gas companies in general. There were certain pipelines that we were paying not to be.
So Biden shutting down the Keystone XL pipeline, first of all, is Canadian owned, and the U.S. was only supposed to get 10% of the oil produced. But second of all, that was because of a court order. And third of all, it wasn't yet in production. So cutting off the production of the Keystone XL pipeline couldn't have caused an increase in oil prices due to the fact that it didn't impact the supply curve.
Well, but that's kind of trivial there, because just
it's not trivial. It's facts. This is like the fundamentals of like microeconomics.
Any other major company, if I have 1 million of a product and someone wants 2 million of it, my prices are going to raise if I only have 1 million and I'm not expecting to get any more. When you actually have more gas coming in, when you have more oil being produced, and you're looking forward to more oil being produced, you are going to lower the prices because you're expecting to be able to get more.
Yeah, so this is like referencing like futures. So I don't think that like anyone would have had futures set insofar as the predicate of the oil production from the Keystone XL. Thank you for the love you. In like 2016, okay? Then like also additionally here, it is the case that it was Canadian owned. The U.S. was only supposed to get 10% of it. If it was in full effect and that crude oil would have been produced into gasoline, it would have only increased supply by 2%. So a greater spike in the pricing couldn't have been caused given that 100% of the oil was turned into gasoline, because it was only expected to increase oil supply by 2%. But additionally speaking here, the oil from the pipeline wasn't even going to be refined into the gasoline at the pump.
Okay, well, let me ask you one thing without getting in, because that'd be too long of a debate. Let me ask you this. Do you truly feel in your head, 'cause I don't think anyone's asked you this, do you truly feel in your mind that Biden is the one actually making his own coherent decisions right now, that he's capable of that? Or do you believe he's just being a public talking figure?
I think that all presidents have advisors that they should use, but ultimately speaking, I'd say that Biden functions inside of the executive office the same way ultimately every president before him has.
But you do think that he is coherent enough and that his mind is working well enough to be able to make decisions for the country's best?
Oh, no, I don't think that Biden is coherent enough to be president. I just don't think Trump is either, and Biden is the lesser of two evils.
Okay.
Like Trump is not fucking coherent. He is like legitimately delusional. Like, do you disagree with? Do you think that the 2020 election was sufficiently rigged to be overturned? Do you buy that shit?
I wouldn't say that I buy it in full term. I do think that the elections are manipulated.
There's always voter fraud in every election. 2020 was one of the safest.
I do think that is an issue. I do think voter fraud is more of an issue.
Right, but I'm asking you about Trump's claim. Was it sufficiently rigged to be overturned?
I do believe that Trump dealt with some things that a lot of other presidents never.
That's not what I'm asking you. Do you agree with Trump's claim that the election was sufficiently rigged to be overturned?
I think his words were wrong. Could you say rigged? I could say yes. I could say I agree with him to a certain extent. I do not agree that it was cheated on the level that he said, but I do agree that it was rigged by the media and by a lot of other people in places that, I mean, George Soros, he's been...
Okay, was it rigged sufficiently to be overturned? Yes or no?
I'm not in a position to be able to answer that.
Yeah, sure you are. We had 60 courts, including 17 judges that Trump appointed, rule that there was no standing for Trump's case that it was rigged to be sufficiently overturned. And the reason I'm particularly bringing this up is to show you how delusional Trump is. Absolute delusion.
To be straight up honest right now, do you believe a country as hegemonic as America, if they did find something, would let that get out?
Of course, including the 17 judges appointed by Trump.
There is no way a country as hegemonic as America.
Okay, so you're just making the hypothesis that the election was sufficiently rigged to be overturned non-falsifiable, and this is something else that people that are sympathetic towards delusions do, right? It's like you have this hypothesis. You're like, well, I think that the 2020 election was sufficiently rigged to be overturned, but a point against my hypothesis is the fact that, it couldn't have been proven in 60 courts of laws. They all rejected it on the basis of no evidence. So then you just have to bake it into the hypothesis that, well, the courts wouldn't come out about it. But you understand the hypothesis that the election was rigged to be overturned, and all of these judges, wouldn't rule against it because of the state of America is just about as valid as my hypothesis that a unicorn farted the universe into existence.
Yes, but I could say the same. I could use the same theory for people that think that Biden is coherent in actually
his brain is functioning well enough to actually run the country. Even with advisors, when it all boils down, Biden is not running the country. He's not making decisions.
Can you give me any facts for this? Like, I mean, this is just feelings.
I mean, that's not feelings.
Yeah, sure it is.
If you even watch the debate, if you watch the first debate, if you've dealt with people with dementia, which I have, if you've dealt with people with mental decline, which I have, if you've dealt with that, you can watch that debate with Biden, and even with a teleprompter in front of his face, even with all the words written out for him, he could not coherently finish that. I mean, as Trump said in the debate, I don't even think he knows what he's saying. And no matter how you feel about Trump, those were probably the most true words of the whole debate. The only time Biden actually made any sense was when he was talking about golf.
Hey, I have a question.
Only time that he sounded coherent.
Do you think that Trump is coherent?
Oh, he's a lot more coherent than Biden. I think. He's
Okay,
a lot
I have a
more
question. I have a question then. So, can you explain to me what Trump is saying in this clip? Give it a second. Give it a second.
I say, what would happen boat, and you have this tremendously powerful battery, and the battery is now underwater, and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards. Or here, do I get electrocuted if the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking? Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark. So we're going to end that. We're going to end it for boats.
So, what is he saying there?
I have never heard that speech, so it'd be hard to actually know without seeing the whole video to see the context in it.
Oh, that was the whole video with all the context.
What were they talking about? What was
Well, that's what you said. Trump was coherent, so I thought you'd be able to know what he was talking about by listening to him talk.
I mean, but something like that. He's talking about the boats, talking about the battery, talking about being in the water. I mean, the sharks were probably just him doing some exaggeration of whatever story he was telling.
So what do you think, like, the point of that story was?
I would not know without knowing what he was actually talking about. I mean, that video does
Wait,
not...
but why don't you know what he's talking about?
Because it's only a 60-second clip out of probably a 5 to 10 minute
Well,
conversation.
like, from that 60 seconds, what did you gather?
I mean, to me, he seems to be talking about some kind of new rules on the boat. I mean, to me, I would say maybe he's talking about some kind of electric use on the boats.
I asked you to go grill that chicken an hour ago.
Oh, Jace, you better go make that chicken, buddy. Oh, Jace, you're in trouble, Jace. Oh, you better put that chicken in, buddy. Uh-oh, Jace is in trouble. Okay, listen, Jace got busted, ladies and gentlemen. Jace got busted. We're just gonna let him down nicely. We're gonna go and load up our next guest here, y'all. Let's go to see what our next guest has. We're gonna let Jace down nicely, okay, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to go put that chicken in. Okay, you know, that's like the third time that I've had one of these MAGA cultists come up here on the live. I guess he wasn't the worst, but he definitely wasn't the best. And then just like, you know, absolutely like have their wife come in and blow up on them. And then they do what the wife says. You know, they always automatically disconnect and they go put that chicken in, right? Like Jace just did. A little bit of respect there. They listen. They're listeners. They listen to their wife. You know, Trump sure didn't. He cheated on 3 of them. Moving on to our next guest here. If you're MAGA, make sure to let me know in the chat. We're going to get our next guest up in here. Let's go to get the Angry Octopus up in here, guys. And if you want to support me, my Venmo as well as my PayPal are in my bio, guys. You'll get a notification at the top of my phone screen with your name, and as well as a message. If you attach it, I could read it off on live. What's up? Hey, how old are you?
26.
26. Are you voting for Dipey Dawn? For smelly Dipey Dawn?
So I just had a question for you.
Well, I mean, are you voting for Donald Trump?
No, but I had a question. What do you think about Chase Oliver?
I don't know who that is. I am only talking to people who are voting for Trump. Who is Chase Oliver? We're going to move on to our next guest, though. Maybe I could do some research on Chase Oliver. I don't know who that is. We're going to get our next guest up in here. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get straightened up in the live. If you're MAGA, just make sure to let me know in the chat. All right, moving on. Moving on. I saw a couple people in the chat saying, let Chloe in. I'm going to let Chloe in. Hey, Chloe, how old are you?
Oh my God. Hi, Dean. How you
old are
doing?
you? How old are you?
I am 18.
What year were you born in?
2006.
I don't believe you. Moving on to our next guest. Let's go to get Amanda up in the live, y'all. That was a child. That was a child. That was a little kid. That was a little kid. A little kid. A little kid. A little kid. Ladies and gentlemen, a little kid. Moving on to our next guest here. Everyone just give us a moment. We're just trying to get some debates going. Hi, poser. How old are you?
I am 24.
Are you voting for stinky, smelly, poopy diaper Don?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, why so?
I honestly don't like him. I also don't like Biden. The biggest reasons for me voting for Trump, to go into the context of that video of Trump, no, I have no idea what he's saying. But I will say that that's one clip out of 4 years of Biden in office, of watching him fumble, can't go directions when he needs to go. He's lost.
Yeah. Do you want to hear how I put this? So I'm going to take the man that shows his age a little bit more, but has a good policy that doesn't pose a threat to America, in comparison to the guy that shows his age less, but doesn't have any policy that benefits the middle class more so than the top 1%, poses a true threat to our democracy, and has been held legally responsible for rape and has been convicted of 34 felonies.
I definitely don't believe that, he should be in office with the grape charge by any means. No, I don't think that's acceptable.
Well, then why would he be voting for him?
We're down to two options right now. And to be honest with you, when I watched the debate, listening to Biden say that no service members have been lost, one of my good friends, Dylan,
so he told a lie. That was one of Biden's lies.
Not that. There's that. He has gotten us closer to war than ever before.
How so?
Since World War II, more so. When he made that decision to pull the troops out of Afghanistan, yes, that's great. But there was also a lot of things that weren't met security-wise, thought-wise. It was way too quick. And the thing is when you have a president like that, it puts a strain on all of our country. We are now effectively in a full-blown draft.
Those Trump's border. So actually, Trump was the one that brokered the deal with Afghanistan to pull the troops out. Biden was just simply pulling the trigger on Trump's deal with Afghanistan.
Yes, no, that is 100% true. But there are also things that have to be met that the president has to discuss with the Secretary of Defense and furthermore, everybody else that is in that plan. There are things that weren't met that were needed. He made the call to not destroy any of the equipment that was left there, the billions and billions of dollars that was left for Al Qaeda to just play with.
Can you give me a source on that? I don't think that's true.
I'm not in front of my PC, but the next live that you do, I'd love to pull that up for you.
Sure.
But
I think that insofar as the equipment goes, they actually did destroy that, or at least make it so it could be used.
I mean, there's plenty of videos of them toying around in our, Black Hawk helicopters.
Yeah, I would love a source.
I mean, you could literally look up the videos. Again, I will pull up those sources the next live. I would love to do that.
No. I want a source saying that the U.S. didn't destroy the equipment in comparison to videos of these people and these weapons that we can't confirm to be the U.S. We can't confirm it to be Al Qaeda. We can't confirm it to be after the pullout. We need specific evidence to indicate that the U.S. particularly opted to not destroy them. Because it's also the case that our government gave, the Afghanistan government particular weapons and ammunitions, prior to Biden's presidency. I think your source here is just gonna be trust me, bro. Anyways, guys, I guess he's on pause. If you're
apologies. I didn't realize I was on pause. I was trying to read the article that I had found from NBC News regarding the arms being transferred to other locations that were left from America. There's multiple things, though. There's the constant, like I said, I do have a grandfather that is full-blown Alzheimer's. It's degenerative to where he can not take care of himself almost. And, during those pre-stages over the years of me watching that, it reminds me a lot about the way that Biden has been acting. Am I saying that he's a bad president? No. Am I saying that he has,
Yeah,
bad
but like,
policies?
wait 1 second.
Yeah.
Like, if we're gonna talk about their character, why don't we talk about the fact that Trump was held civilly liable for rape? He was convicted of 34 felonies. He said that he dated a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He said that he likes to walk into the changing rooms of teen girls at Miss Teen USA. I don't give a fuck if Biden has lost it a little bit more than Trump. If Trump is doing horrendous, terrible shit with that extra cognitive function, okay, fine. Biden shows his age more, but what does Trump do with this additional power of that being more cognitive function? He grapes women, tells 10-year-old girls that he's going to date them in 10 years, and doesn't do anything for the American people, denies an election, and still
created
virtues of
peace
distrust.
with Russia. He created peace with Russia
By bowing a knee.
He went to North Korea.
By bowing a knee.
But at the end of the day, peace is peace.
Oh, no. But see, the thing is that the U.S., the world's, I'm so sorry, but the U.S., the world's leading economy with the world's largest consumer base and the largest GDP and the largest military by far, is in absolutely no position to be bending a knee to foreign dictators. And that's exactly what Trump did to gain the respect of Putin, and we have evidence of it. You could look up clips of Trump at Helsinki questioning Putin while he was interfering with the elections, and then Putin was like, oh, I didn't interfere with the elections. And then Trump was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Putin. I'm so sorry whatever I've accused you of yet. You absolutely are not interfering with the elections, and bowed the fucking knee. The U.S. does not bow the knee to foreign dictators, especially foreign dictators like Putin, who are committing literal war crimes in Ukraine against little children and have warrants out for their arrest from the ICC.
Can I ask you this, though? Was this ever in question when Trump was in office?
Helsinki? Sure.
No, not that. The need and the urgency for Russia to spontaneously attack Ukraine.
Oh, so they actually indexed Crimea in 2014, and then they invaded Ukraine, of course, when Biden came in. If you're going to make the argument that Biden caused them to invade Ukraine, if it was the case that if Trump was in office, they wouldn't have, you're going to have to give me facts there. Because the only thing I've heard to substantiate this opinion is feelings.
Trump has flat out, in reports, not in reports, in interviews, told foreign dictators that he would nuke the shit out of them if they did anything not to that standard. Now, with that being said, that's when the peace started to collide. That's when people started realizing that Trump was not the one to play with, because at the end of the day, you need somebody strong. You need somebody who's not like...
We had proxy wars with Russia under his presidency, Yemen and Syria, just to point that out, but continue.
So, it just also comes down to the fact that, if we don't bow down to foreign dictators, why are we providing billions of dollars to Ukraine? Just out of curiosity, because Zelensky...
Because of the Budapest Memorandum. Do you know what that is?
Zelensky has millions in real estate. He was out of the country for more than half of that invasion. He finally, when people started catching on to the fact that he had all of this money, and Americans started questioning the money going out because it's been continuous. Now we're also getting into the whole, Hamas, frickin' Palestine, Israeli stuff, like all of it.
Okay, do you know what the Budapest Memorandum is?
To be honest with you, no. I'd actually like to know.
So that's a denuclearization agreement that we signed with Ukraine in '94, stating if they gave up their nukes, we'd protect them if they were invaded. Guess what? They gave up their nukes, and guess what? We're holding up our end of that contractual agreement by giving them funding and weapons. All right, it is the case if we didn't honor that agreement with them and we stopped providing them funding and weapons, well, then all of a sudden the U.S. would look unreliable and incredible, and other foreign countries around the world wouldn't even step foot in a negotiation room with us for things such as denuclearization agreements, because they'd know, no matter what we negotiate, that we would turn our back and dishonor that contractual agreement, because that's exactly what we'd be doing with Ukraine if we stopped funding that war. Funding Ukraine's war is putting America first, point blank, period, because of the Budapest Memorandum. Now, you can disagree with that agreement ever being made in the first place, but the case is it was made, and so we need to uphold our end of that contractual agreement to maintain our credibility on the global stage.
Yeah, that's like two men shaking hands. I completely understand.
It's not two men shaking hands. It was an agreement made on paper.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. I think you're misunderstanding what I mean. The way that I grew up, if you shake a hand, that's like signing a contract. When you shake somebody else's hand and you come to an agreement and you shake that hand, that is just like signing a piece of paper. That's just how I grew up.
Okay.
So no, I'm not disagreeing with you on that by any means. Thank you for informing me about that. I never heard about that.
I know. That's why I host these lives, bro. Because this needs to be talked about more. It's not in the media. Biden didn't mention it on the debate stage. More people need to know about this. Absolutely, bro. I completely agree. But yeah, any final thoughts here before I send a raid over to Parker?
Yeah, no, my biggest thing, I guess, on that note is, with that being said, having somebody who can actually interpret and, vocalize things that are important for our country and important for our voters. Like, there's a lot of young people out here. I'm only 24. I'm not old by any means. And I know that there's 18-year-olds that are going to be voting. I feel like, what you're doing is genuinely correct. You're informing the community. I just wish that we had a president that could do that for himself and actually, influence the country by himself.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. But we don't see that in either Biden or Trump. There should be we already have term limits for the presidency. There should be term limits for Congress, and there should be age caps for all three branches. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more.
I'm also just, if you don't mind me asking this, just because I am a little confused, and if you happen to know, great. If not, it's completely fine. With all of those years that he has in office in different stages of the government.
Man, I'm not going to lie, bro. I want to make this your last point because I really have to use the bathroom. So I want to send it right over to Parker's stream so I could.
All good.
But
I'm just confused as to, how he's gotten to the point where he's at in the presidency, where, he has all this negative influence to him, why he doesn't, express what he's done more.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I've just got to kick you. I really got to go pee. Feel free to request up on Parker's live. If I see you in the box, I'll let you up. I just gotta go pee. So for everyone watching, we're gonna go ahead and head over to Parker's stream for a little bit of a co-host. If someone will comment at Parker needs a job in the comment section, please do, and let's go send him a raid. And I apologize for kicking that guy. He was actually really nice. It was a good conversation. I just really gotta go pee. So everyone, head over to at Parker needs a job on TikTok. Spam Dean raid in the chat. All 2.4 thousand of y'all. We're gonna continue these same debates that you've been enjoying all day long, just on Parker's account. So head over there at Parker needs a job. I will see each and every single one of y'all there. Yeah, make him, show some love in the chat too. Shouting y'all out. Like shout out Fluke, Allison, Plant, shout out Evie, Mickey, Amanda, Hannah, all of you beautiful chatters saying Dean raid. And I'll see you over there soon. Once again, at Parker needs a job on TikTok. See y'all there. Bye-bye.